Tell you folks here. It's gonna be some parental discretion. Well, we got that sign up any damn way. Y'all should be noticing. Used to me anyway. Yeah.
Okay, I think we're up on the restream. Let me go ahead and check real quick.
Yep.
Oh yeah, okay. There we are. Yeah, we're simulcasting. All right, sir.
We are on. Mm-mm-mm. I'm gonna tell you this, folks. Mm. Hey everybody. We got who's in here? We got what is it? Eccentric. Hey boy. Or we got Andre. 3000 GT Atlanta. Tro Bentley. Kareem Austin. Long time no see, Kareem. What's up, man? Got 12. We got Noir Truth. What's up? How you doing, sir? Got a salute. He said I'm still at work. He said I'm gonna listen to this shit. We got the teacher extraordinaire, the art designer of all art designers, art new style and profile. Oh man, we got the macho man, Alongo Savage. Oh man, big make believe.
A big maple leaf.
MPRG, what's up, man? Judas Line, what's up, man? Judas Line, what's up, man? We got Terrell Boxley, what's up? Royal Priest, Alex Shaw, the ruthless, heartless Revelator. Gotta be ruthless sometimes. Mr. Donnie Mac, how you doing? Who else we got in the building? Blue Collar. Prince Yasia. Yes, I can't pronounce that. You got to tell me.
Zachariah.
Zachariah. Okay,
Yeah.
somebody had to do it. What's up? Assalamu alaikum salam, Philip. How you been, man? The Lieutenant Average Brother is concerned about this. Okay, well that's why we're here today, folks. King Lexicon, G Rock, Grab, Second Gear, Eddie, Damon Brown, Mr. Blue Collar. I keep forgetting you bring the people else I'll be here for.
Yeah,
Herbert
yeah,
Dope,
yeah. For my
Black
channel. Yeah,
Scorpion.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Simeon Anderson. Hey, Dusty PhD.
Yeah.
Dusty PhD. What's up, man?
It's
Oh man.
the crew's checking in, man. So
He's new. I said, let me get my earpiece and try not to get fired. Oh man, Shannon Green, what's up? Neighbor, what's up? Oh, Mr. Blood, how you doing? Marvin. Brother. There's too many of you dying. Oh man. Now this is how we're gonna start the stream off, Always salute. Hit it. What my man say off of Coming to America? You know, man can make it, but only God can create it.
hmm
Oh man. Just in case for those of you who are not familiar with me, which I've been here for almost a decade, you should be, but there's new people every day. My name is Sergeant Charles Faulkner. I have 10 years of experience with the United States Army, 18 months in Iraq with the QRF. I was a member of the Baltimore Police Department from 2007 to 2021. I'm an owner of an armed security firm, Black Lion Security Firm LLC, since 2022, and as of August of last year, I am a police sergeant for a college in Baltimore. So I might know a thing or two, BGS. I might know a thing or two about police involves and tactics.
Man,
Maybe just like,
plus you're a door kicker in Iraq, so.
oh yeah, you know what the biggie say: kicking the door, waving the full. And just in case anybody wants to, donate to the channel, I don't get super chats anymore because I'm a motherfucker. So
Oh, okay. So,
there we
so
go.
you drop your cash app for him then, sir.
Start a pen right there. Here's the cash app, baby.
Okay.
There's the cash app.
$1 holler.
$1 holla. I mean, hey, gotta get. I know that. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. That's my boy, my weightlifting boy.
Mm.
He got the Savage Fund. Hey, we got the cigars and liquors fun, baby. Gotta get the cigars and the liquors and. Oh man, I'm gonna
So
pin that message.
so who's got the personal best, man? Is it you or Doc?
Currently me, but Doc was injured a little bit, so he's working his way back up.
Okay.
Doc's a bigger dude than people realize.
That Doc is 6 foot, damn near 6'3". Yeah. So
Yeah, he's a big dude.
he's a
You
big
can tell
dude.
by the shoulders and the broad of the neck.
Yeah. You can tell by how tight that suit is when he's actually performing.
Oh yeah, yeah. When he performing, that ain't a small dude. Like,
Ain't a
you
small
don't hear
dude.
nobody running up on Doctor Thunder. There's a reason why they call him Doctor Thunder.
He might not be kingpin, but he's close. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I remember, I
And
remember
like
when
I'm probably.
when your date said, "Why did they call you Kingpin?" They saw a picture. Oh, that's why they call him Kingpin.
Yeah, they saw the picture. She knew me for how long, and she's asking that damn question, man. And come to find out, she knew me from high school, and I have almost little to no memory of her.
Well, there's probably a reason for that. She's a late bloomer, probably.
Oh no, she was fine back then. Still is.
Well, then, how come you don't have no memory of her then, sir?
I was so oblivious, man.
Dudes ain't that oblivious. If you're not, your penis is not. Okay,
Oh yeah, that's
it's
true.
gonna she can find out. So she's probably a late bloomer.
Well, probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Shout out to the $20 holla by Mr. Blue Collar. Damn, that's bars. This is for Mr. Blue Collar. Mr. Blue Collar here. Where we gonna go? Talk to him, Prince Adam, for the $20 holla.
By the power of Grayskull.
They said, BGS, what's the video you did with the advice for men who want to up their game level?
As far as game, it will be my live stream. I think it is on game week. Go back to my live stream I did about maybe not quite a year ago, maybe a year ago. It's called Game Week. I did like three videos, 3 lives on that. So,
Oh yeah.
so if you want to up your game level, in fact, I took it from a paper I actually did for Ron maybe 4 years ago about game.
Yeah, what's the topic? We're gonna talk about, our good friend and master teacher BGS is gonna bring up the video for the police involved. And I'm gonna give my my so-called expertise take on it. They said, "How you doing? How you a sergeant? And you two got your probation." I said, "Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch? I mean, YouTube got me in purgatory, but fuck that. We take cash apps here. You know what? We do it live and direct." So if anybody, I just pinned the comment up in the chat. So if you want to donate, it's in the ticker.
Okay, we'll take the, you want the long version, or we got the short version, about a minute
We'll
and a
take the
half.
long version, so it
Well,
gives us more to talk about.
the long version, with the talking heads, because the
Oh no,
video itself wasn't very long.
yeah, we'll take the short version because we
Okay.
don't need the talking heads because a lot of the reporters, you know, hey JT, what's up? And I guess somebody wants to book a consultation with you, BGS. I guess, and
Oh yeah. Hold on a second. I'll drop my email in the chat in a second.
I guess I
Yeah.
guess I'll do a consultation when it comes to fitness shooting and
You,
military police.
yeah. I mean, basically, yeah. A lot of people that need to get into the gym and do workouts, you probably need to have a consultation with you because you're an expert at it. So,
Oh yeah, I'm not only working out but also firearms. I am a nationally recognized firearms instructor. I am a certified Maryland firearms instructor as well. Don't nobody say shit. Don't nobody say shit. Guess who's in the building throwing Kamehamehas verbally? My man AL going up in the like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Search for that. Oh, say
it,
shit.
nobody say shit, but anytime you get ready, you want to pull it up if and whenever you're ready.
Okay. Let me see. We'll get this to big screen. Add to the stage.
Okay.
Full screen. Yep. So I'm gonna get this down. Move this. We're doing the Air Force police and airmen's the U.S. Airmen police involved shooting. Um, I'm gonna say this, even though the signs up there in the upper left, parental advisory, explicit content. I'm gonna warn everybody. This might be triggering. This might be disturbing. I'm just gonna say this. Hey, I'm here for everybody's questions, and I'm gonna give you an answer, whether you like it or not. Roll that beautiful Bing footage.
All right.
This is the moment U.S. Airman Roger Fortson was fatally shot in his own home by a Florida sheriff's deputy.
Sheriff's office, open the door. Step out.
You see it all play out in newly released body camera footage from the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Department. The officer announces his presence at Fortson's apartment after receiving a report of a disturbance.
Sheriff's office, open the door.
Fortson appears and is shot almost instantaneously. Watch closely, slow down, and you see the door open. There appears to be a gun in Fortson's right hand, but it's pointing downward, never aimed at the officer, who immediately fires, striking Fortson in the chest and arm. Fortson later died at the hospital.
He shot up. Our baby was shot up.
His family claiming authorities had the wrong apartment, that Fortson was alone on the phone with his girlfriend. Authorities say the investigation will be thorough.
I want to assure you that we are not hiding, covering up, or taking action that would result in a rush to judgment of Mr. Fortson or our deputy.
But this morning, it's unclear whether Fortson actually caused the reported disturbance.
Tell the truth about my son. I know my son did not do anything to you guys.
The military wanting answers as well.
We certainly never want to see our airmen or any military member or any part of our DoD family be put into a situation like this.
So we'll if you want to replay it, you can pause it or whatever you want to do. Go
We
ahead.
could replay it. We'll go step by step.
Okay. What's your initial? I know you already saw it. Okay. What's your initial response to it?
One, I put myself. If I'm going up to a call, he's going to announce himself. Sometimes you'll knock without announcing. Sometimes you do. You try your best to get the person's attention to come to the door. People will say, "Why doesn't he stand in front of the door?" Well, you're always taught not to stand in a fatal funnel.
Yeah.
And dude, you're knocking on the door like you should. This is what I always say. I always put myself in that officer's predicament.
Mm-hmm.
If normal people are gonna feel a certain way with you coming to the door
Right.
with a gun,
Okay.
that cop is gonna be on 1,000
Okay.
coming to the door with you with a gun. It may be a gun state, but guns change the parameter of a lot of shit. I don't know what your mental state is. I don't know who you are. Unfortunately, the young man was shot. Unfortunately, the young man lost his life.
Yeah.
If you could see out the peephole and at some point the officer standing right at the door, you could have cracked it. You could have looked out and say, I can't see you.
Yeah.
Yell through the door.
Yeah.
If you think it's a home invasion,
Don't open the door.
don't open the door.
Yeah.
Put extra locks. Start getting a position of advantage, some cover.
Yeah.
Get on the phone with the police if necessary. Don't come to the door with a gun in your hand and the cop is there. I will tell you what. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if I might have done the same thing.
Okay. That's why I wanted to know. Would you, in the same position with all the experience that you have, would that have been your reaction? It,
Yeah,
it, it depends
because
on the
I'm
day.
gonna tell you.
Mm.
See, people are gonna be like, this is where people are gonna be like Michael Mayweather. The cop was covering the I don't give a damn if he was covering the whole damn door.
He wasn't covering the people. No, he stood back. There's no way he could cover the people. We saw what he did.
No,
Yeah, we,
no.
we we actually. That's one thing about video. It doesn't lie. Okay. Okay. He was away from the door. He wasn't standing. He couldn't cover the people. Okay. So that's not true.
So we're gonna talk about this, right?
Hmm.
If you feel as though it is you don't think it's a cop there, the guy's covering the peephole, you can actually go up there and you could actually call the police yourself and say, hey, I'm scared. This guy's saying that he's a cop.
Yeah.
And people saying the thin blue line. No, 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 no. See, here's the hypocrisy of it all.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can knock on the door. There's no law that says you can't knock on a door.
No.
I mean, guess what? At some point, if you think it's a home invasion and you come into the door, that gun is going to heighten anybody's senses.
Yeah. That's the only issue that I had. That was great for me. Okay. You did come to the door with a gun in your hand. So
You're going to come to the door with a gun in your hand. That's not the most uh,
especially
intelligent.
if you heard him say sheriff's department.
Yeah.
He
I
did.
mean,
If he hadn't announced himself, I would say, okay, he was definitely wrong. But I think he did announce himself. So
um, people say this is this off. Dude, me and Officer Tatum wouldn't even get along. We probably would at some point, but not a
I
lot.
I think if you're a cop,
Yeah.
most cops, I can't say anything because I've never been in that situation where I've had to walk to an unknown place and have a gun pulled on me.
Yeah.
I've had guns in my face before, but not in this situation. Okay.
It's difficult. He said, "Is this Officer Tatum, dude?" No, this is not Officer Tatum. Okay. Uh, no, I don't date white women.
Well, you can see the scroll on the bottom of the screen. It's not Officer Tatum. Okay, come on, y'all.
Yeah, come on, y'all being dummy. Y'all being dumb with this shit. I mean, let's go frame by frame, okay?
You
Because I
want you
do
want
shit like this.
so I'm a mute it and then we'll slow it down.
Okay,
Let's
I
try
go
that.
frame by frame. There we go.
Go it down to what what half speed? You want half speed or you want those
Yeah,
fast?
cool.
Okay. All right.
Let's go through this.
Okay. Okay. The sound is off, so everything he's He knocks. Okay.
He knocks. Where is he covering the peephole?
Yeah, he stepped back. Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna ask this. Gangbangers have been known to trying to gain entry to a house by announcing themselves as police open up. No,
Yeah.
they usually
That this is where I had a problem at, right? Okay.
hmm
Now this is where I had that's where I had the problem at. Okay.
Here's the crazy part.
Mm-hmm.
You can look outside the window and see if it's police or not. Or
I
the
don't.
people. Yeah,
Well, the people.
most home invasions, they're kicking in your shit.
Okay.
They're kicking in your shit. So
Well, that's the problem I had. He raised his hand. Okay. That's normally a sign of peace. That's the only problem I had. But thing is, but it's a split second. So
yeah, a
yeah,
split second to
yeah.
this. And you can raise your hand all you want, you still got a gun in your
Gun in
hand.
your hand. Yeah.
And that's what most people are gonna say, especially when you have other police officers involved in this. And I tell a lot of people, I said, look, the most unfortunate thing is this brother lost his life.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you found about the police, what you feel about them, what's up, Bay? Embrace villainy, bit of truth.
And the
I'm
thing
not.
is, even though it slowed down, this only took this didn't even take a minute. It wasn't even a
No.
minute from him getting off the
Mhm.
elevator
And he
into
says police usually don't come to the door with the gat out. He didn't have the gun out.
no. You can see him pull it from a holster. You know, because
It
that's
was
his
from a
shooting hand.
holster.
Yeah, that's his shooting hand. Yeah. Now we'll replay it with normal time with the sound up.
Hmm.
Yeah.
How's everybody gonna follow me?
You can see him. You know, you can see him pull and get into shooting position. So he drew it from his holster.
Yeah. And okay, somebody wants me, Dusty PhD. I love the name. Wants me to explain the fatal funnel. The fatal funnel is anything that puts you in front of the line of fire of an entry, like a doorway, a stairway, a hallway.
Yeah.
When you're raiding or doing any type of searching,
Mm-hmm.
you usually want to get the fuck out of the way as
Oh,
quickly as possible
yeah.
out the fatal funnel. That's why you saw him going to the left and the right of the door.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the guy opened up the door, this is tactical no. Why are you coming to the door with the gun? If I'm really afraid and thinking it's gonna be, and I'm not trying to put words into the young man's mouth
Mm-hmm.
or his thought process. If I can see through the peephole that this is a uniformed officer, there's a reason why, sheriff's deputies and police officers wear uniforms. And we're going to talk about the thin blue line stuff. You got, you're going to see, he says, I don't see any windows, but there's a peephole. You're gonna tell me that I'm gonna come to the door if there's a home invasion. Hell no, I'm not coming to that door. If anything, I'm gonna do my best to barricade myself and get my firearm and take a position of advantage and cover.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna mark it up to youth. I'm gonna really mark it up to youth because a lot of people who are young,
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna be as quick on the thinking as other people, unfortunately, who are older. And this is like a conversation we had offline. There's a lot of guys
Mm-hmm.
who go into these situations not thinking survival. And I think that's the horrific part about it. What's up, Lewis? And then Sean Breezy might make a good point. That gun, from the officer's position and advantage, he might have seen that gun before anything else. I'm sorry, like people, it's easy to Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah,
It's
but
easy to-
embrace villainy. The thing is, when the cop approached the door, there was no noise.
yeah.
He didn't hear anything.
He said, wasn't he responding to a domestic situation, not a shooting or someone brandishing a weapon or anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Charles. You're the expert. Go ahead.
Okay. You're already in a there's already a heightened elevation if you get a call for domestics, because a domestic could be two people arguing, could be a man beating on a woman beating on a man beating on a man, woman beating on a woman. Anybody who has carnal knowledge, that's domestic. Now, you walk up and you see the door open and you see a gun, that's gonna heighten things a lot. Your response time, and you got to remember this one little thing about response time. It is quicker for somebody to pull a gun than it's quicker for you to react to it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, if you're saying that, hey, I'm thinking it's going to be a home invasion, get on the phone with the police. I don't believe that you police. I'm calling them now.
Yeah.
Get behind your wall. Take a position of advantage. Barricade yourself in case somebody is doing a home invasion.
Mm-hmm.
Give yourself time. How far was that cop was from the guy with the gun?
Probably less than 6 feet.
So how much time did he have? Little to none.
And the gun's already out. Yeah. And I'm sure nobody comes to the door with a gun and his finger's not on the trigger.
No. And see, people want to say Second Amendment for blacks is non-existent. No, it exists a lot. It's just that
tons of white boys get shot just exactly the same way that he got shot.
They get lit the fuck up. As a matter of fact, they get lit the fuck up.
Yeah.
Stop letting that news cloud your judgment, because white boys get lit the fuck up.
Oh yes, they do.
Especially in these backcountry towns.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, let me put it to you this way. I just came from North Carolina, from where my grandfather was born and buried. Those white boys out there, them sheriff deputies, do not play with them white boys. They will light them the fuck up because they know they have no regard for authority.
Yep.
So, next frame.
Okay.
Aren't all 50% of calls heightened situations? No.
Okay, let's start again from the I think where he stepped off the elevator. You can find it. Okay, this is where he stepped off the elevator. You still want slow-mo, or you want sound?
We could do a sound.
Okay.
So let's sound, regular sound. Let's
go 0.75 and with sound. Get a little faster. So.
After receiving a report of a sheriff's department, the officer announces his presence at Fort.
That's where he announced himself. So okay, so he did announce himself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
His apartment after receiving a report of a disturbance.
Sheriff's office, open
He did announce himself twice and knock on the door. So okay.
the door.
Fortune appears and is shot almost instantaneously. Watch closely, slow down, and you see the door open. There appears to be a gun in Fortson's right hand, but it's pointing downward, never aimed at the officer, who immediately.
He told him step back. So he's him saying step back. Does he see the gun or what? How come he
He's
just tell him to
probably
drop the
looking
gun?
at the.
Yeah.
He's probably looking at the gun because if the door is wide open,
Yeah.
and his gun's in his right hand, he's seeing the gun.
How come the cop? Well, since there's a wall, how come? Well, it's Monday morning quarterback. How come he didn't take a step back? The cop to where the wall and change the angle.
It's only but so much because that fight or flight kicked in like a
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Okay.
So your brain is going one way. Like a lot of people think you're calm in this situation. You're not. You're definitely not. So there was a question. I have a question. Should the deputy be charged with manslaughter first degree? This is to the host. No, not yet. Anyway, no.
Is
You're not
anytime?
gonna. You're not gonna. I'm gonna put this out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is one thing I see people don't do. Put yourself in the position of the officer, right? You go to the call and there's a gun.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do? And don't tell me, oh, the gun's pointed down. How quick does it take for that gun to be pointed up? I don't know you. I don't know your disposition. I'm pretty sure he was a well-mannered young man.
Mm-hmm.
He had life going for him in the Air Force, and unfortunately, he's not with us. And I wish that he would have survived the encounter and carried on his career. But you put a gun in that situation, you change the scope of that situation. Let me see. Willie said, bottom line, we see interactions between police and whites all the time. The whites with the hand on the gun, police don't even have the hand. Oh, trust me, white boys get
Oh, I
lit
would
the
get
fuck
lit
up.
up, fuck up. I've seen many times. Go to TikTok and put on cop and gun. White boys get lit the fuck up, man.
They will light the fuck up out of white boys
Oh yeah.
because they know white boys have a certain air of arrogance about them and lack of respect for authority.
Now it's rare. Every now and then you see a cop and giving that white boy a chance with a gun, but very seldom they get lit the fuck up.
I
And
think I
gotta remember,
answered this.
at the end of the day, man, racism in America, you're not gonna change it. Okay, so do you actually want to go home or you want to be right?
I'm going to tell people. Okay, here's the question. Perfect Blackness Senior. He may not have saw the officer through the peephole. Why did the officer position himself in a way that he wasn't directly the peephole? I'm going to say it again. Fatal funnel. If I'm clearing a room or clearing a building, what's the most dangerous places to be? Stairways, hallways, doorways.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's nowhere to duck, there's nowhere to move, there's nowhere to get cover. You're in the front. Anything that wants to attack you is directly in front of you. As a matter of fact, because he saw the door open and he wanted to talk to the guy,
Yeah.
what happened? He saw a gun right down at him.
Mm-hmm.
He had good tactics, and then he laid his tactics down once he saw the door open. But then when he saw the gun, dude should have just dropped the gun, put the gun on the ground. But Monday morning quarterbacking.
Yeah, I don't think dude had enough time to even think about dropping the
I
gun.
don't think he even had enough time. I'm just like this. If I could see you through the peep, because remember, when the door opens, like I tell people, if you want me to tell you a perfect scenario, and there's no scenario that's usually perfect. So people be like, well, Second Amendment and black people. If that's the argument that you have, then guess what? You're going to have to put a lot more emphasis on that for your safety. I'll even tell people, like, there's no such thing as the perfect shot unless it's an active shooter.
Yeah.
This video has been edited. How?
No, that's the cam. No, they're not. No, this is the deal. The Pentagon asked for this cam. Okay, that's why it's coming
Yeah.
out fast. No, they're
How?
not. They're not doing that kind of
I'm gonna ask you how. Nobody's gonna take their 6-figure salary to protect another motherfucker.
No.
Nobody's gonna get threatened fucking jail time to protect a person if they're wrong, especially if you're wrong,
Yeah.
because they're gonna put this shit out real quick and be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I don't want nobody to say we were not." And Brace Villainy said, "Hey, Charles, can you explain to people? Can you explain to these people what it's like to respond to a domestic? A domestic can be a nightmare. It can be hellacious. There's some that are calm, but when you go to a domestic, you don't know what the hell's going on. It could be two people fighting and one person getting the shit choked out of them, which I've actually witnessed, and the people choking them. The rest of the family don't give a damn. They watching TV. You arrest one, next thing you know, the person you're protecting will jump on you because don't arrest them. Just because he announced himself doesn't mean the man saw there's actual police officer. If you don't, there's one thing you could do.
Don't open the door.
Don't open the door.
You don't have to open the door.
Call 911 and say there's somebody pretending to be a police officer.
Yeah. And if he had kicked the door in and shot him, that'd be different, but he didn't.
Yeah.
If he hadn't announced himself, that would be different. He did announce it. He did everything he was actually supposed to do. Okay.
Protocol. So
it's kind of hard. Yeah.
here's the thing: if the cop would have kicked the door in,
Yeah.
and the guy shot him,
Yeah.
the guy would have been in his right to do so.
Yeah.
Y'all asking the cop too many. Y'all giving the cop too many chances and reasons for answering the door with a gun.
Dude,
Bro made a fatal mistake. No black person is unaware that cops can't be triggered. It's not a thing about being trigger happy.
he did pretty much that. Charles, during a knock like that, a domestic like that, is that not the way they teach you to actually do it?
Yeah, you're gonna stay off the fatal funnel. There's a reason why a lot of people don't understand the concept of like being off on the angle.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many cops got shot through the door?
If
you
you're
know how
gonna
many
get shot,
cops?
it's gonna be through the door. Okay. I mean, how many pictures movies you have to see where people get shot standing in front of the door? Okay.
Yeah. Do you know how many cops got stabbed? We have a guy in the Baltimore City Police Department. God rest his soul. Big old guy who was stabbed in the face standing right in front of the door several times and survived. You know what actually killed him? When the crazy person took his service weapon and shot him in the head.
Okay. With his own gun, huh?
Should military JAG get involved and do their investigation? They're already doing an investigation.
Yeah, let me forward a little bit, right? Okay, for just a bit. Where are they? See if I can find him. It says the Pentagon in the back. What does that mean?
They're already
What
doing
does
an
it mean?
investigation. There's several investigations going on.
Involved, they're already as soon as a serviceman gets involved in anything, they're already involved. Okay, if you're active duty, you're automatically involved in anything. Okay.
If you're anything military, you're involved. I would not have shot. You say that now, bullshit. You say that bullshit now. You see, I'm gonna say this, and I want everybody to listen to me very closely. You have the pleasure and the leisure to say that shit because of what? You had time.
I mean, there are cops that might not have shot. Okay, and there are cops
There
that
are
would.
cops that might not have shot, but here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have time to say that. You don't know till you're in the situation what you react to do.
Yeah.
Could this Could this affect military enrollment for black men? No.
I think most black people know, your skin color plus a gun in your hand and cop equals you're probably going to get shot. Okay,
No.
that's
So it's
that's
not going
that's
to affect them.
that's a fact of life. You got to deal with the
There's
fact of
no
life.
call for being a weapon involved. A Karen called about a possible domestic going on.
Yeah, but the thing is that the the cop doesn't know that. Okay,
Yeah, you're going by hearsay.
yeah,
Remember, all your calls start with hearsay. You don't know what the fuck's going on. And that's why a lot of people I'm like a lot of people who get into these issues. I've seen white guys walking down the street with ARs daring the cops to do something. I've seen a lot of cops. I've seen that as well. I've seen black guys with ARs and cops
yeah,
daring to do something.
yeah.
I've
Because
seen cops shoot white guys.
yeah, it's true. Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, a white guy walking down the street with AR on his strap is different than a domestic. That's unknown.
Now,
Explain the difference, Charles.
here's the difference. If he's got his gun holstered or he's got a strap, just like a black guy could legally do it, you're not harming anybody. You're not in a position of attacking. Compared to having a gun in hand,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know what you're thinking. If you're thinking because right now you're both on heightened adrenaline. You're both you're all your emotions are going through a million miles per minute. Like, yeah, you could have holstered up or not answered the door. Like, people always think, well, I got a right to do this. No, you should have a right to survive. You should have a right to survive.
And people always operate on should. The
Now,
world doesn't work on should.
you want to go home? I mean, Winsler said it best. Do you want to go home or do you want to be right? I mean, it's just the fact that I keep hearing excuses. Okay, tell me
Excuses,
your experience. Okay, tell me
excuses
your
like,
experience.
mm-hmm.
Tell me your experience. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. Don't forget to hit the cash apps as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. If you're gonna have questions like this, please hit the Cash App. Go ahead and put your Cash App down, Charles.
It's also pinned to the comics. Gun drawn on a domestic call, second class citizen folks. Bullshit. First of all, you bring a gun to the goddamn door with
Yeah.
any cop,
Any cop, yeah.
any race. They're
Any
gonna you
in,
might be shot.
any city.
Any city.
Yeah, L.A. wouldn't even been a question. It's
I've been
Florida.
in
That's why it's only a
situations
question.
like this.
Yeah.
I've been in situations like this where it was a 14-year-old boy fighting three boys in the yard,
Mm-hmm.
and the 14-year-old boy got a knife.
Mm,
I draw my weapon. Guess what? You better drop it.
mm.
The only reason I had it because I had distance from him. But if he had took one more step, I'd have shot him, and I wouldn't have gave a fuck what nobody said. Why? Because I have to protect life. But this is also the part about it is that you got to also protect your own.
Yeah.
And even if it's the wrong address, look, hey, don't open the door.
Yeah. That's the first thing to tell. Don't open the door. If I can't see somebody to a people, I'm not opening the door. Okay. And I'll call 911 and see if there's an officer outside my door. Get confirmation. If I can't see, I'm not opening the door.
Let me put it to you this way. If I really think there was a fucking if I really think there was somebody trying to kick in my door,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let them kick in the door. You're free game after that. You're fair game after that. I'm not gonna open up if I'm so afraid to the point where I'm scared that somebody's gonna collapse my shit. Why am I gonna open up the door and give the guy, you know, an easy mark. And I'm not giving anybody excuses. I'm just giving you scenarios. That's like a woman saying, that's no different than when you hear these silly broads talk about, I think I'm safer with the bear. Think about that.
Mm.
I think I'm safer with the bear. Motherfucker, have you been next to a bear? How do I go about this? Look. How do I go about this, Charles? You're the expert. Okay. I'm going to give you my expert advice since you asked for it. Do not. If you think it's a home invasion, barricade yourself in a room. Grab your firearm, grab multiple if need be, grab your magazines, barricade yourself. As soon as that motherfucker kick your door in, have at thee. Now, if the guy says police and I'm capable of seeing who the police is or not, if I can't see them through my peephole, I don't know. Use time on your side. Call 911. And shout out to Passport OG for the $5. Use time. A lot of people don't understand this, and I say this to cops, I say this to civilians, I say this to soldiers. Time is on your side. The more time you have, the more reaction you can get. From that distance, and you don't know who the fuck is at that door,
Mm-hmm.
how quickly could he turn that gun on you?
Oh, all he has to do is raise it. You know, was it less than a second?
So you're telling me less than a second,
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to say this guy's the good guy, but I don't know. Put the gun down. What the hell you?
And I'm saying this because this bothers me. The thing is, you know,
It's gonna bother. It's
gonna
not.
bother me.
It's not pretty.
Yeah.
It's let's get that shit out the way. I really wish this never happened. I wish the guy could still have his life.
Hey Mo, that's the hey Mo, that's not okay. Okay, I don't understand. We're gonna be respectful here. Okay, it's one thing we
Let me
argue.
see. If
Yeah,
this was 200 years ago, Charles, this dude would have been the slave master's most loyal black overseer.
and that's
This
not
dude,
okay.
Charles. Okay,
It's not.
okay. We're
Not
gonna. I'm gonna address. I'm gonna address that. I'm gonna
okay.
address that.
All right.
Mo, do you know me? I'm waiting for your answer. Do you even know me? Because I'm pretty sure I've saved more black lives than anybody can combine on this panel or in this place. So when I made initiatives and I had to pull my weapon to save young black boys from not only white boys, but other young black boys, were you there? What makes me an overseer? Because I don't have to agree with everything you say. But guess what? How many of you motherfuckers out there in your towns would be a better overseer than me when you allow people to sell poison to your people in your community and you do nothing about it because you're a coward? If it's not hurting me, I don't have to do nothing about it. But everybody wants to be this pro-black god. But 200 years ago, I probably would have been the motherfucker starting the fucking revolution. I'd have been the one. No, 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 motherfucker. You started it. You got my full attention. At first, you had my curiosity. Now you have my attention. First and foremost, I've been the motherfucker calling the revolution, and motherfuckers like you be snitching to the slave master.
Okay. All right, Mo, this is not okay. All right, I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna respect
I'm
the
the,
guests, whether you agree or not, don't agree. But go ahead,
but
Charles.
here's the part.
Mhm.
So first and foremost, what did I say that is anti-black or coonish? Give me one example.
Okay. Maybe you should drop the link. You can come up and
We're gonna drop this link. You know, I got some time. I ain't gotta be to work till 11.
I got
Come
30.
on
I
now.
got 30 minutes because I got to help grandson with
You gotta
homework.
help the granny.
Mhm.
Tell him I said what's up, and how about the ice skaters?
All right.
There's the link.
There's the link. Say it to his face.
There's the link. I mean, anybody could come up here if they have any discretion of what I'm saying. If I'm telling you and young black men, if you're going to the door and you're gonna open the door for the police, don't put the gun down. Even I, as seasoned as I am as a cop, if I have an active shooter and I shoot the poor bastard, guess what? I'm putting my gun down. Because they don't know if, and when I'm out of uniform, they don't know me from a can of paint.
Yeah. He got timed out, so
He could still hit the link.
mhm.
But see, this is the ignorance that people don't like to talk about.
Yeah.
You want to play this whole racial hierarchy shit. The last time I checked throughout history, the so-called blackest motherfuckers were never down to raise some hell.
A black cop would have done exactly. Well, Charles is a black cop. Black cop would do exactly the same thing.
Yeah, because he'd have told you, put that goddamn gun down.
And
Whoever
basically,
you are, Eli King of the Hill, you got to go out and come back in.
the thing is, did he follow the procedure that the police set out for him? I can't see where he did not. Okay, I can't see where he did not. He announced himself twice. He knocked on the door. He stood back. Okay, he didn't try to kick in the door. Guy comes to the door with a gun in his hands. Okay, that's you're pretty much toast. Okay, when you come to a door and the cops in the door, you got a gun in your hand. Okay.
I don't know if that's a holster on his side. It might be something that's inside the house.
It looks like a cell phone holster. That's what it looks like. I can't tell.
Yes, and you are
E.
E.
What's up,
What's
Charles?
up, E? Hey, what's up? What's
All right,
up?
what's up? My question would be: Do you think they will? Damn, can't talk.
Calm down, man. It's all right. You're amongst friends.
All right. Do you think he will get off, or will he be sacrificed to the media because it's kind of looked bad? Even though what you're saying, I agree with you. That was a split-second move.
I don't think that.
He's not gonna be charged at all. It's
I don't think
improbable.
he's going to be charged because you can't. Because how they charge you is would a reasonable officer do the same thing.
Yep.
And what happens is if I see a gun that quick and the gun can be turned on me that quick, and I don't know your temperament, I don't know you, I don't know what you're going through. You could be a cool guy, but look how quickly could that gun be turned on him? And he technically would have had to drop on the officer before the officer pulled out his weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna put it to you this way. It's not good. It's gonna make people feel a certain way, especially since you have white cop, black airman.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get that out the way. I don't think it's a good thing. I wish the young man, could still be alive. It's sad that, right before Mother's Day, a mother lost her son. Let's just get the shit out the way. But when it comes to law enforcement, he did what he was supposed to do, protocol.
All right. Okay, Mo, yeah, I think you need to come back another day, sir. The link is there. You don't want to come up and debate it. And
I mean, it's an ugly thing. You know, we need to see. Here's the problem. Exactly, a black cop is just as brainwashed as a white cop. Okay, come on, dude. Really, you really think my challenging the authority ass is brainwashed? Get the fuck out of here.
I know those black cops that beat that brother to death in Memphis all got charged, sir.
Yeah, they did.
They all
Remember
got charged.
let's look at the gun trace task force in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them were white, some of them were black, all charged.
All charged. Okay.
Get out of here. Nobody's protecting. This is the hardest time to be a cop in history. So you got to remember, and some of the comments are going to be on BGS's platform. You got to look at this. A lot of dudes think that this is also some oh well, you just trying to be cool down with the blue. No, I'm gonna ask BGS if I say that's a bad shooting. How many times?
Most times Charles will say it's a bad shooting. Okay, most times. Okay.
If it's a bad shooting, I got no qualms to say, oh, that motherfucker going to jail.
I mean, okay, if you're training this cop, okay, if you're in his training, what would you say that he did wrong? If anything, if you said nothing, say nothing.
I mean, I want somebody to literally, here's the link. Tell me why you a butthurt. Tell me why you don't agree with me. I'm free with this shit. I am okay. Have I been afraid for people who disagree with me? No, I love that shit.
Yeah, he's an Aries.
Please.
Yeah, they love that shit. Yeah.
I love it. Here's the link. Tell me what you agree, and thank you for Mr. Blue Collar. Thank you, Salty Balls. I mean, tell me.
I didn't always agree with him with what was the kid's name that died in the police van that caused the riot?
Freddie Gray.
Freddie Gray. I didn't agree with Charles with that. But the thing is, I'm not a Baltimore cop. Okay.
I'm gonna tell you what I told
I didn't agree with it, but the thing is, Charles is insider. Okay, I'm not a Baltimore cop.
Afro, thank you for the Cash App $20 holla. Let me see. I'm not gonna say Mr. AS, thank you for the $10 holla. I'm gonna say this for you, right? And shout out to Aaron Smith. I've been listening to Charles for years now with BGS. He's as objective as they come. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't have shit to hide. If you want to come up here and tell me, look, I've been in combat. I've been in the streets patrolling. Shout out to Atlanta 3000 GT Atlanta for the $3 Cash App. I'm gonna tell you, I'm not afraid to tell you if that was a bad shooting. When I heard about the chick kicking in the door and shooting a guy with a bowl of ice cream in his hand in the chest, I said, "Oh, she's going to jail."
Oh yeah, yep.
People forget that.
Yeah, what's his name that died up in Minnesota, right, with the knee on the neck? And so I said Charles. It said, what it said? Well, if, as a cop, would you put your knee on somebody's neck? He said, yeah, if I want to kill him. Okay.
Yeah, if I want to kill him, yeah, I'm gonna put my knee on his neck.
Yeah.
If I want to kill him,
yeah.
I'm like, dude. I even said they're gonna. I will tell you the quotes I said about that. With the Floyd case.
Yeah.
I said they're gonna make an example out of his ass because that's a bad look. 9.5 minutes. There's nothing you can say that it took me 9.5 minutes to subdue this guy with a knee on his neck, and then to put your hands in your pockets.
Yeah.
Oh, you going to jail, Nick?
Hey, what's up, Charles?
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Hey, I got a question. Well, actually, two questions actually. Number one, I keep hearing people say cops need better training, but isn't this exactly what they're trained to do?
Yeah.
Like the moment you see a gun, just start open firing, right?
Here's the thing. You know, I'm gonna ask this question: how quickly can you flip that gun to point it?
Extremely quick.
Does he know that he got seconds? Does he know who he's dealing with?
No. And that
that's
looks
the
like a
part where,
holster to me. That looks like a holster. This is Florida, so it's an open carry state.
yeah.
That could possibly be a holster.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't put a holster on the opposite side of your gun hand.
I don't know. It depends. Like, I'm just saying, like just from the optics, you know, it kind of looks like a holster to me.
That's a cell phone holster. I don't think it's a gun holster. You wouldn't put a
But
holster on the opposite side of your gun hand. That makes sense.
and then the second, because I saw a video recently where it was a legit domestic violence call. The woman ran out the house when the cops pulled up and told the cops that he had a gun. And the cop went in the house, and the dude was standing in the kitchen with an AR, and they just let his ass up immediately.
Yeah,
he didn't point it at nobody, but he did have the AR in his. They ran in and just lit him up. And my second question is, Charles, is it true that a lot of the cops in America are getting trained by the Israelis, Gensa?
Some are. You know, you're getting trained by different. Like, there's cops that are being trained by the Green Berets, the SEALs, other cops. Like, let me put it to you this way: not all cops, like all men, are trained equally, right? There are some places like Maryland, like Baltimore police. The MPTC is a very strict police commission. The Maryland Correctional Police Corrections Training Commission has a lot of objectives that you need to hit. It is very strict. It's one of the highest, most difficult places to earn your police commission.
You see,
go ahead.
And you got to remember, who do you think's going to have higher training? A city cop or a cop where there's only like 1,000 people in the town?
Definitely a city cop.
Who's going to have more experience?
Definitely a city cop.
So a lot of people think that police training is universal. It's not. There are some key aspects that are similar, but it's not. And what may work in the city may not work in the small town. Yeah, he saw that gun immediately. He saw that fucking gun immediately. Like, oh shit. At that distance, you know. Anybody want to come on? Everybody don't have to agree with old Charles now.
Oh, the thing is it's going to come down. Did he follow procedure? Okay, that's what it's going to come down to. And
it's going to be like with a reasonable cop.
Yeah.
Would a reasonable cop do the same thing?
Yeah. No, training probably doesn't. He followed his training. Okay. You know,
he followed his training, and that's what they charge you on. Does the training and would a reasonable cop in that situation have done the same?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey, what's up?
What's up,
the cop
what's up,
he's going to get full military honors burial, and the city might cut a check. But Charles, let me ask you this. I already know
they're going to cut a check.
Yeah, they're going to cut a check. But let me ask you this. Do you think this is going to lead to military bases that's in 2A states that's going to give mandatory seminars now to aspiring members that live outside the base that has a weapon, how to conduct themselves? Because every time we something like this in the military, they're going to have seminars and stuff for military members that's living outside of town, outside of the base, out in town.
Um, some things should be common sense, but how old is this guy again?
22, if I'm correct.
22. As much as we want to put a lot of hopes and dreams in 22-year-olds, there's some things that's going to be given to exuberant youth. Yes, he's old enough to carry a weapon. Yes, he's legal. Yes, he's in military service. But guess what? How many of us are going to vote a president who's 22 years old? There's a reason why experience is a good teacher, unfortunately. So, okay, somebody said, so where's the deputy's backup? Let me ask you this question, unsunken one. Do you live in a town or city? Because if you live in a city, you're spoiled when it comes to police service and arrival. Remember that, you're spoiled because a lot of people are spoiled when it comes to police services because your backup's 30 seconds. Compared to some small towns, like when I left my grandfather's town, Windsor, North Carolina, guess how long the police response may be?
Hours. Some of the
Could be 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah. Pittsburgh is days.
And depending on the call.
Yeah. Yeah. Even in LA, it's
so there's no sense in having a weapon in your home. See, this is the failure of listening. It hurts people. That at one time during this stream that I say you should never have a weapon in your home. Fellas, panel, chat.
Nope. In fact, you said the opposite.
No, you never said that.
If you really think that you have a home invasion, barricade yourself, get some cover, get a point of advantage.
Mm-hmm.
If that cop would have kicked in his door,
mm-hmm.
and it would have felt like and that's young service member would have shot him.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what I would have said? That young service member was in his right to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't know if it was a home invasion or not.
Yeah.
Hey, Charles, I wanted to add this piece real quick. The thing is, that police officer didn't even know that he was a service member because he wasn't in uniform. And I think that's the one thing that a lot of people not really understand.
I don't think that makes much. I don't think that makes much difference whether you're a serviceman or not. You're not an officer, and you come to the door with a gun in your hand. If Charles came to the door with a gun in his hand, okay, and he's a cop, okay, you might.
I've been pulled over by the police more since I've been a cop than before mine. I already know if I reach for a gun with my size and that most cops would find me intimidating, they would have shot me. And if they would have read off my background, they'd have been like, guess what people would have said? I'd have shot his ass too.
Hey, Charles, let me ask you a question.
Yep.
So you could, for people that don't know in the chat, I was an expert with the M16, and I was an expert with my side piece firearm. When you're on the range, you're trained with muscle memory, and with you with military experience, how fast could you pull your pistol out and point it at center mass at the target?
Anywhere from 1.5 to 2 seconds.
Okay.
So
now,
I mean, I could point it very quickly. You're going to be about a second or two, but now let's say.
Now, with your pistol down at the side of your leg, not holstered, how quick can you pull that up and shoot it?
A tenth of a second.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to say. I'm about to go on mute.
And I'm gonna just tell you, like, look, yeah, there's not many weapons I haven't fired. Hell, I've even fired shoulder fucking rockets. Your reactions will never be quicker than one's action. Get that out your phone. There's nothing you could do. Many of you, if I put you through a scenario, you would have took the shot. Now, is it something that will always makes us upset? Young black kids being shot by the police, of course. Nobody ever says that's not going to make you upset.
Hey Charles, I wanted to say something real quick. The point that I was saying before about it's like we see everything after the fact, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was a service member and all that. And that's the point that I was trying to say. It's like people are acting as if the cop knew he was a service member and shot. It's like no, the person went to go and figure out what was going on, open the door split second. Like who here is willing to take that chance to ask that person any questions? Especially the gun, because just like you said, depending on how you train, even if the gun is holstered, as soon as you pull it out, you flick it and you fire a shot, and then you bring it up, and then you square up, and then you shoot 2 more times. So it's like, depending on who the person is, if they were trained by some people that was outside the military, because people like to go and take these classes and stuff like that, just to be more proficient in shooting a weapon system and things like that. Like you never know what you're dealing with. That's what I was trying to say before.
You'll never know what you even under training. This is why stress training is very important. Think about it. It's like let's look at one of my favorite sports, wrestling. Is there a difference executing a takedown in practice or when you're in an actual match? Big ass difference. So a lot of people, I mean, yeah, we should get ring cameras, but can people afford them? We don't know what people's pockets look like. We don't know people's situations. So I don't knock people for certain shit. Okay, here's the link. Tell me what it doesn't have with training. What does it have with jigging?
Are you jigging? Are you a cop?
I'm gonna ask this question, and please come up. You're invited to come up.
Yeah, come on up. That's right.
As long as we're respectful, please come on up. Because if you got an issue with something, you said no, then what's your issue? Why is it when subject matters like this, people have the actual time to come speak to a person who's been through this?
Well then stop arguing through the chat if you don't want to come up. Okay? You expressed your displeasure multiple times. Okay, you don't like what's going on. If you don't want to come up and have a conversation, calm down. Okay, otherwise I'm start deleting your comments. Okay.
All right, can I ask a question then?
Can I chime in?
My bad, I'm so sorry.
Hold on. Who's first?
Go ahead. You can. Whoever said they got a question, announce yourself because.
That's me. I used to go by Zulu, but I just changed my name to Usual Business because I've been kind of going back to Africa.
You got a lot of noise, Zulu. So go ahead and ask your question.
My question is, when the guy came to the door, did he tell himself that he was a police officer when he came to the door, or what?
He announced it several times.
Twice he announced himself.
Oh, okay. That kind of changed the game a little bit. Never mind. I'm gonna step back there. Hold on.
Yeah, that's why I could tell people aren't used to studying police-involved shootings and tapes. Because you don't just see it once. You got to look at it over and over and over and over.
Can I chime in there for a second?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I just want to back up what you were saying. This is the Dusty PhD. I know you said to announce yourself.
I love
but
the
I
name.
wanted. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Knock on the door first, okay?
Yeah. No, I just want to back up everything that Charles been saying. You're spot on the money. I retired from law enforcement. I kind of do this stuff for myself, and I I do this stuff for expert testimonies and all that kind of stuff, witnesses for lawyers and stuff. And so, yeah, everything you're saying is on the money. And it's unfortunate that you have Black men in this space who are trying to educate us all, and so many are willing to argue and say that you're wrong. And you know, they haven't walked a mile in your shoes, haven't gone through the training. And we're here because we love this space and because we love these people, and we want to educate everyone. So just listen to what the experts have to say, no matter what the subject is, and stop trying to argue. And I think we can go some places. So,
and I'm gonna tell you the hard part about it, right? The hard part of it is that somebody died, and unfortunately, there's a lot of things that could go right, go wrong, but there's things that's called outside variables. Most times I go to a domestic, I don't expect somebody to pull a gun on me or have a gun in hand. You know? MS Delta. BGS is still getting paid. Good God. Send some of that money over here, MS Delta. Send some of that money over here, boy.
I'll split it with you, Charles.
Send some of that money here, but you know,
No,
I always love MS Delta, man. He's a good supporter. He said, "Rest in peace." But learning moment: do not answer / open the door with a gun. Just ignore the knock. Just ignore the knock and talk. Come back with a warrant. I mean,
yeah.
Here's another thing, right? Call 911. There's somebody I think impersonating a police officer. Time buys you a lot of shit.
I would not suggest that people ignore them, tell them come back with a warrant. Remember, the officer was listening at the door, and there's been a couple of videos that I watched where there was some type of sound going on in the background. So if you got sound or movement and things going on in the background, and you tell the police, "Oh, you come back with a warrant," they might just boot the door because they can assume that somebody is having
danger.
Yeah.
Right, is in danger. So I wouldn't say I would not advise people to come back with a warrant. They're saying they could say somebody's being held hostage or whatever. So that's bad advice. Listen to the officers about this.
Let him kick the door in, okay? If you got to kick the door in, rather
And
than
I'm
the
gonna
door
tell you,
with the gun in your hand, okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna
well,
tell you.
in that circumstance, yeah. I mean, in that circumstance, I'm just saying when people just say, "Oh, just blow off the cops," you don't have to listen to them. No, it's not smart to say those kind of things.
Yeah. Well, we talk about other things that he could have done other than what he actually did.
Sure.
Even though here's the thing about it. There's reasonable suspicion. There's probable cause, and then there's beyond a reasonable doubt. Police arrest on probability. Courts convict off of certainty. Okay. I'll give you an example. Little kid called the police. He had to be about 8 to 10 years old. My daddy got a knife to my mommy's throat. What the fuck do you think we're gonna do when we get there?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
And even though I wasn't the OIC, I was the most tactically experienced officer on scene. And I led my entire squad through that house. And peep this, BGS, they were so amazed by my skills. They were like, "Dude, how did you know all this?" Nigga, I was in Iraq. I was on a tactical team in Iraq. Don't you listen to any of the goddamn stories I tell you.
And a much more tense situation than a domestic.
Yeah, so we had to kick in that door.
Mm-hmm.
If it sounds like sounds where there's a struggle or something going on, which could have made another ugly situation, well, I need to see you. You can communicate through the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he could have told him show your badge through the door, through the peephole. Yeah, lots of different things.
There's many of times I'll even play. I've had guys in handcuffs. who were not arrested, but they were what? They were subdued. We had them detained. And I've even played back, had the dispatcher play back the call and the description. You know what those guys said after that? Now, I think if you do detain a person and you don't take the time to explain what you're doing with that person, I think you're just an asshole. And I'm ringing people out because of that shit. Yo, go talk to that motherfucker and go apologize because you're being a fucking asshole. When the time is right, when everything's low. Now, even with a knife, which would have been just as deadly, if not deadlier, at that distance. Because a lot of people don't know that knife can penetrate that vest. Unless you get like the top of the line safe light defense vest, a lot of those vests are bulletproof but not knife proof. So,
and for people watching, I gotta go, but I'm putting the link to Charles's stream into the chat. So if you want to continue watching, he's Charles is gonna be on for a while. So I'm gonna tell you that.
yeah, so come on up and ask questions,
come
man.
on over, go over to Charles's spot because I gotta go. So I'm in this stream from my side because I gotta go, but the link is in the chat for Charles's stream. So if you want to continue, I suggest that you do go over to Charles and plus give him some views and a like. So
please, this is one of the few times you got a guy with this level of expertise who's not Brandon Tatum. And by the way, I got 3 times the amount of police time to Brandon Tatum, and military time. Answer your questions, no matter how ugly, no matter how fair, no matter how good I think they are. I'm gonna give you an answer.
I think we
Come
got 2
on,
guys.
bro.
I think we have 2 guys on the panel that have
And Dusty PhD, how many years you got?
I did 24, retired as a captain. I'm all done.
See,
I'm currently a sergeant. Put in my application for a couple of departments to be a lieutenant.
I want to ask
you got.
Yeah, I want to ask
Go
Dusty
ahead.
before I go. If you were reviewing the tape and the cop came of this cop, did he do anything wrong in this instance, or did he follow procedure?
Yeah, 100%. There's nothing that he did wrong.
Okay.
From soup to nuts, everything was textbooks. I know people were questioning, standing off to the side. Charles answered that. It was a textbook. He announced himself 2 times, knocked on the door, listened at the door, see if there was anything going on. There's nothing that was out of the ordinary. And it was correctly said that if this was a white dude on the other side of the door,
he'd get lit too.
He would have got lit too.
He would have put. As a matter of fact,
might have got lit faster.
He might have got lit faster.
And I'm gonna tell you why. It's Florida. It's Florida. It's the South with an F. They know that the white boys are crazy as shit off that shine, and they're gonna react to them quicker because they know. Okay, the only reason, and I'm gonna tell you, if there was a bit more distance, that cop wouldn't have probably shot because he would have had time to get cover. There was no cover between the fatal funnel. And I always tell people when you raid a house, I don't care if it's in America, Iraq, Afghanistan, anywhere, you raid a house. The scariest thing about a raid is when you in the hallway, a stairway, or a doorway. Scariest shit. So when that cop did that, I said I don't have any qualms about what happened. It's unfortunate. They're going to pick this apart piece by piece, frame by frame, as they should. But I don't see him getting charged because a reasonable cop seeing that from that distance with a gun out, with a handgun out, would have done the same. Sorry.
Okay, I want to make another announcement for everybody that wants to continue to watch. Okay, I'm restreaming Charles. I put the link to Charles's stream into the chat. I'm gonna go maybe 1 minute, so I'm giving you guys a chance to go to Charles's and actually Join the panel.
Come on, join the chat. I need some new subscribers. We're trying to make it to 5,000, man. I'm trying to retire from police work. Man, let's get to 10,000. Let's start making some money, man. Come
So
on. I'm gonna
can I ask him a question in the chat? Can I answer that?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hebrew of Hebrew says, me and my girlfriend was going through a domestic. I told her to give me back my TV. I called the police, and the police told me they cannot make her open the door. In that particular case, they can't, because they're relatively certain. Obviously, I wasn't there, but they're relatively certain that there was nobody being held hostage, et cetera, et cetera. And in that case, it's a civil matter, so you'd have to sue her in court. But absent those particular circumstances, they can't just go around.
But go finish your statement. I'll go after you.
No, I was just saying, in those particular circumstances, they can't. You just go around booting doors to get TVs and
TVs. No.
And my overnight bag and stuff, my toothbrush and stuff. We can't do that.
No. The most we can do is the most I would tell people to do in that situation: leave, call the police, be around the corner from your house, tell the police to meet you at the corner. You're going to do a walkthrough to grab your property. The police is going to escort you through the house so she can't assault you, you can't assault her. Nobody can claim assault, and they'll walk with you to get your property. Yes, it might seem tedious to us, but guess what? That we rather do the walkthroughs with you. Damn, that was so Baltimorean saying that through. But we rather do the walkthrough with you than have fucking 6 pages of a domestic violence, possible robbery, possible homicide with us not being there. So there's black men have this adversement towards calling the police. The reason why black men lose so greatly is because you don't believe in the system that the system's made for you. And guess what? Anytime I use the system, my boys use the system, even some of the sisters I've heavily messed with utilize the system. It worked for them. You know why? Because now everything's fallen in their hands. You can't say that I was here for any bullshit or violence. I just want my property and I just want to go. She comes down looking like an asshole and you got it recorded on your phone, which you're free to do. When y'all go to court for either the divorce or child custody, guess what? She's saying some shit and you have it recorded. Here we go. Use the system. And shout out to BGS for, looking out for a brother. What's up, AB Media? What's up? Programmer extraordinaire. Come on now.
What's going on, Charles?
Do I blame y'all? Do I blame us? No. I never blame black men for being in situations that they're in. What I blame black men is calling, emailing experts like myself or Dusty PhD, who's been in the field for like literally, how many combined years do we have? We have at least 50. Almost 50 if you combine my damn. I've been in the military since it was 25 years ago. In June will make 25 years I've joined the military. Combined, that's 50 years combined with police and military with his police. And what do you have a PhD in?
Leadership, criminal, with a concentration on criminal justice.
So you have guys with this level of intellect and scholarship that you don't take advantage of this shit. This is there's no different right now than how you should treat a Dr. T.S.on Johnson live stream, a Dr. Ronald Neal Long live stream, a BGS live stream, a Green Gorilla live stream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's like what I say about my boy Art New Style. Why can he talk about the educational system? Because he's currently working in the motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Utilize your experts. If you utilize your experts to the best of their ability, they're going to tell you the best possible scenario for you to win. Am I lying, folks?
Nope.
Nope.
Y'all could disagree with me. I'm open to that shit. When I looked at this shooting and I said, I even asked my lieutenant, I'm the sergeant on the shift, and I asked my lieutenant, we sat back. He retired from Baltimore Police Department as a sergeant for 32 years on. I left with 14. I own a security firm. I'm a firearms instructor. We both said, man, he asked me, you go do a live stream? I said, sir, they not gonna like a lot of people not gonna like what I say. And it's not because I'm trying to protect this dude, not because I'm pro blue. It's really because one, let's look at this shit. If I was in that situation, what would I have done? I don't know your intent. If I'm coming to a domestic violence situation, I'm already heightened up because I'm like, oh my God, there's definitely an argument. There's possibly violence.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what and I don't know if Lewis is still here, but to go even further and not giving away my man Noir's, credentials, but Noir knows what knows what I'm talking about when I say this. Just because you're in the military, 18 is still 18. Am I lying?
Oh, that's 100%.
Stop thinking that yes, he or she may have more responsibility thrust upon them, but stop thinking that lack of experience, they may have greater responsibility on them. They may have greater training than the average, but that 18 is always going to show. It's like when they say girls mature faster than boys. That's only because they go through their growth spurt before boys do. But notice what's the more complex biological creature is the male. It's going to take more time. Why do you think men take more time? Why do you think men make better leaders? Because we got to go through crucibles women do not.
Oh yeah.
Both mental, spiritual, physical, and emotional. When my grandfather last week, and thank everybody for supporting me during my grandfather's passing and funeral, and thank you for all the people who called, messaged me, emailed me, and did all kinds of shit, donated. 92 years of greatness, man. I don't know how much that money that y'all donated went towards that funeral and the gas money towards it. I had to be strong for the entire. You got to realize this. That might be my grandfather, and I had a damn good 42 years with him. But that was my mother's father for 65 years.
Mm-hmm.
That was my uncle's father for 67 years. And you know what the best thing about that funeral was? Is that my uncle, when we sat on the porch, he smoked his cigarettes, I smoked my cigar. We had a toast to my grandfather. And I said to granddaddy, he was like, to daddy. And we got to speak for hours as men. That was the first time in a very long time he got to speak to his nephew, not as the little boy he remembered, but as the grown man he perceives.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the things where black men need to come together and say, look, I know this shit hurts me. Y'all don't understand how many of these police involved shootings hurt me to my black ass core. How dare you call me a coon? Nigga, I was in the 8th grade during the Million Man March. Who the fuck are you? There's a lot of shit. Did you know that me and Bay were in the same fucking, even though Bay's about 10 years older, we were in the same fucking places doing the pro-black experience and, excuse me, conscious community, even though we didn't know each other at the time. I was in the conscious community in the fucking 8th grade. My goddamn parents were disciples of the fucking Black Panthers. How dare you challenge my blackness? How dare you? Could it be possible suicide? No, I don't think it was possible suicide. Chris, come here for a second. How old are you?
24.
24. If you thought it was a home invasion, right? And the police knocking on the door, are you gonna answer the door with your gun in hand?
Fuck no.
Did y'all hear him?
No. It's dumb as shit. You do that. I mean,
Even if you know it's me.
even if you know it's the police, why the fuck would you have a gun in there, bro?
Now,
You're supposed to know who was the robber, who was the home invader.
but here's the thing. If I don't believe that's the cop at the door, can I still barricade myself, get behind that wall, have the gun pointed? If they kick in the door, they fair game if they enter this house, right?
Yeah.
The airman thing, see what happens is that I'm gonna tell you the truth. And I'm gonna be 100, I'm gonna be a $1.20 with y'all. Fuck 100, I'm gonna be a $1.20. We're gonna go back to old school bus prices. A $1.20 is this. If y'all really want to help the next generation of young men, school them on their emotions. Look,
That's good.
if you got the right to carry, if you don't have any felonies or no domestic violence or no mental illness, buy your gun. I will teach you to shoot it. But know your place in the world. No, there's a time and a place. I'm gonna fucking pull, even as a fucking seasoned cop, as a supervisor. I've been pulled over at gunpoint, pulled over with my nephew, my father, and myself. Had my badge on the clip, and I'm like, yo, I pull my shit up and be like, yo, we're on the same motherfucking team. If I'd have pulled my gun, my head, my brain matter would have been splattered. Play it smart. Your job is not to be right. Your job is to survive. I don't give a fuck who you are. Even if I'm in an active shooter and I put 30 in that dumb motherfucker, guess what? When the police arrive, my hands above my head, gun on the ground, I'm gonna get my shit back eventually. But my life is worth more than any firearm I can buy. My life is worth more than any argument I can win. And that's the problem today, is that motherfuckers rather be right than alive. If you live with your girl and y'all start arguing, be ready to only grab shoes and an Xbox. No. See what you
No,
need
don't
to
see
do.
because dude got shot doing that.
See, Chris, I'm gonna give you some good pointers with this. Come here real quick. What a lot of niggas need to do is actually be the first motherfucker to call the police. He who calls first wins. Oh, Shorty says she's gonna destroy my stuff in the house. Can I get an officer to help me to avoid this? I will lock myself in the bathroom. I will say, hey, if you at the door, I'm gonna be outside the house. I got the key. We can enter. Let her act the fool. Black men need to get the fuck over their bravado and ego. If I'm coming to the door and I see the guy saying cop and I can look and see, I'm giving people free game. Hit the cash app, please. At least somebody hit the cash app. $5, $3, $2. Appreciate it. And thank you for those who did. A lot of y'all need to get over your ego. This is the reason why when B just did his live stream about how men conduct, guess what? Women always try to bullshit men about, well, I always joke with women when they complain about college. I said, well, if you marry me, you go to college for free. If you marry me, we get the biggest house we could get. Well, that sounds like some prostitution stuff. I said, well, everything's a fucking pro quo pro when it comes to relationships. I said you're not dating the rich nigga because you love him. Let's get the fuck.
What Shaq's wife said about him.
Guess what? And Shaq knew it.
Why would his dumbass even go for it?
He did it because there's a reason why Shaq's approaching a billionaire.
He's such a good person.
No. Shaq is a different person than you think he is. Shaq wants what he wants. In other words, Shaq knew what he wanted. He wanted her. He paid Homeboy $2 million to not talk. Homeboy honored it. You don't hear from him. Guess what? If I got a cheating bitch and I get paid $2 million to get rid of her, shit, that's a win. So Shaq didn't want any fucking controversy. That's why Shaq owns the General Car Insurance. That's why Shaq owns Pizza Bowlies. That's why Shaq owns Marilyn Monroe. Because Shaq was taught very early to get over his feelings and look long term. And that's one of the biggest cardinal sins of black men. You don't look long term because you're too innate with your feelings instead of your fucking logic. Guess what? If I lose one woman and if I gain 15 more, guess what the fuck I can do?
15 more what you did the first time.
I'm going to do 15 times better. I could get them younger, prettier, more fucking submissive. And even if they not submissive, guess what? When you know you're at a level of masculinity and a level of knowing yourself, not just monetary, chicks, when you reach a certain age, are buses. You miss one, next 15 minutes, one coming.
Yep.
Because first and foremost, if that bitch ain't helping me, and yes, we cuss over here, so don't be afraid to cuss, fellas. If that bitch, clench my pearls, right, baby? Clench my pearls. Heavens, the Metroids.
My virgin earlobe.
My virgin
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Men drink liquor and smoke cigars and cigarettes at the lounge. Oh my God. They smoke
Hang with the
cigars.
nigga.
I told you, we smoke cigars, we drink liquor, and we hang with our niggas. Why the fuck would I be around? Unless you fucking my brains out, you got to bring something to my life. And like at this moment at 42 years old, most of you bitches are just entertainment.
Can't do that.
Welcome.
Oops, did I say that out
Oh,
loud?
yeah. Oops. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the bit of truth, aka embrace villainy. What's your take on this shit, embrace villainy?
Well, you know, you were the first. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hello, everybody.
Babe's like a brother from another mother because, like AB, like BGS, and like others, he always checks up on me during my grandfather's pass, and I appreciate you, my brother. You don't know how much I do.
Oh, no problem.
And by the way, Bay was laughing because when I was in North Carolina, he saw the ammo dump. He saw the amount of ammo that was bequeathed to me and the ammo that I bought.
Made my pile look small.
I'm gonna tell you now.
2 boxes when I walked up out of there.
I told everybody. I said, look, every black brother who does not have firearms training, get it now because shit down this summer is gonna be wild.
Gee, I wonder who said that before.
Ooh, I wonder who.
I've been saying that for almost a year.
There's 2 guys I could think of. The names escape me.
Yeah. See,
there's 2 guys who were very adamant about that shit, and I'm gonna tell you this. I don't make light of that young brother who had a good career for him. Nice looking brother, looked like he had a good hit on his shoulders. This is the problem, and I'm gonna say this. Critical mistakes can happen anytime, anywhere. And many a times those mistakes, we may not be able to have the time to pay for them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is important for all your nephews, your sons, your grandsons, your great nephews, your cousins, your young cousins, the young boys you mentor. Shows like mine, Bay, BGS, AB Media, Art New Style, and others. Embrace villainy. I don't know if I said that, but you need to put. I just wanted to make sure.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
You need to really put them on with our shows because we're teaching them shit that we fucked up on. Am I lying?
No.
Teach them the lessons that we fucked up on. Don't go to the door. Hey, if I got to barricade myself in my door because I think there's going to be an attack, I need to be ready. Don't go to the door. That guy doesn't know you. That guy's looking for the preservation of his life, not yours at that moment. Because you're looking like a threat. I'm sorry. You're looking like a threat. It seems like people with guns get shot the most. Here's the thing about it. If you're in a knife fight, do you expect not to get cut?
Yes, but you will.
This is police and military doctrine. Stay in the fight. Realize I'm going to get cut.
Mm-hmm.
That one cut does not mean it's the end of the line. But you got to be strategic. You come into the door trying to flex.
I wonder what that means.
And really, what I'm not trying to say, I'm not even going to say it's a flex, but it's kind of a flex. If I really feel threatened for my safety, I'm not. Did I just make sense right now?
Kind of blacked out.
Yeah, you blacked out for a little bit.
Okay. I'm going to say this. I teach concealed carry classes, dude. I'm a Maryland instructor. I'm an NRA instructor for pistol, rifle, shotgun, CCW, protection in the home, out the home. Anytime, Dusty PhD, come back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna try to flex the fact that I got a gun and put myself out of safety just to show that I can protect myself. Because when he opened up the door, he literally put himself out of safety. Is it unfortunate that the young man died? Yes, that hurts my fucking soul.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It does. Not only is he a black young man, that's the representation of me, you, but he's also a service member too. God damn, it hurts. It hurts doubly for me. Had a brilliant career above him. But this is what it and as much as we want vengeance, as much as we want they talking about, well, the girlfriend said that he was shot up. Yes, he was shot up. Guess what? Nobody wants to go through the oh shit moments.
Mm-hmm.
People forget when you go through situations like that, your brain is like, oh shit. This guy shot up. I'm not making excuses for the cop. Hell, I'm not even making excuses for the young service member. It's just a fucked up situation.
Yeah.
But you know what's going to happen? Everybody's going to say it's racial. Everybody's going to say it's this. But guess what? He's not going to be charged. What did he do wrong?
He defended himself.
Yeah.
You're telling me, well, he could have shot him in the leg. No. No.
They said the
No.
same thing about the black girl that got shot by the cop.
Oh yeah, I remember that. And
Stabbed that girl up that was holding the dog in Columbus, in
Mm-hmm.
Ohio.
yeah.
Yeah, they said she could have shot her in the leg. No.
No, and actually, I watched the footage, the cops cam footage, and if you actually look at that footage, the situation was calm. They didn't come there, starting a ruckus. She's the that girl's the one that started the ruckus. And if you look at the she was really just inches away from stabbing that girl. So she left the cop no choice.
Do you remember when I did that live stream? Y'all remember that live stream? When I had the cop about that big ass 250-pound black girl who was
Yeah.
like 15, 16.
Yeah.
Here's the crazy part, right? Y'all niggas out there, if a dude is 15 and he's 6'2", 230 pounds, you would call him a grown man. But why do you call that big ass broad a young lady, a young girl?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't even have the humanity to say, well, damn, this dude might not have the experience. But guess what happens? That dude, that young lady called the police, and then what did she do? She tried to stab the girl in front of the police. What the fuck was the police supposed to do?
Don't do that. I'm gonna give you a big old hug if you don't stab her.
I'll give you a cookie if you don't stab her. Oh Lord, let me
If
shut up.
anything, let's be totally real. We should be amazed on how fucking good the shooting was. God knows those were some incredible shots to make to preserve life.
I got a question for everybody, real quick. Hold on, real quick. Sorry, my guys are being noisy in the background, so if it comes in, just let me know. No. My question: how many people here actually like review yearly rules, policies, regulations, and laws? Because it changes yearly and sometimes quarterly per your state.
Uh-oh. Don't talk that shit. Talk your shit. Say that again for the niggas in the back who didn't hear that. Because most of these motherfuckers don't even know their rules to the game.
It's very insightful to look at that stuff, and then you can understand exactly what your rights are, right? You got to understand rules, policies, regulations, and laws because it's different for each state. Even if you do possess weapons or own weapons crossing state lines, you might have to, depend on what weapon system you own, you might need to contact ATF and say, is it okay for me to do that, so that they can notify the sheriff's department of that state or even that county. Like, all this stuff matters.
I'm going to Hebrew of Hebrews. I'm going to answer your question very vividly. Did that cop have time to say drop the weapon? Did he have time? If you see a gun that close from that distance, could you legitimately be like, drop the weapon? What if he says no, bitch, and starts shooting?
What if he's because I saw some of the footage. What if he pretends he's a cowboy and shoots, and pretend they're in the standoff?
Do I know your mental stability at that moment? No, I do not. Drop the weapon does not work. And I'm not saying the kid was a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
From what I'm hearing, he was a good guy. But guess what? Are you? Is it? I'm going to ask you this question, Hebrew of Hebrews. Was it smart to say drop the weapon at that distance? Would it be smart? If you were in the situation, would you tell a motherfucker drop the weapon? Pat Crowder, the video's edited. It doesn't show when the officer not without answering. Yeah, it showed the fucking. We just stop it. Stop it. Stop it. We literally showed it when he came off the elevator. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. First of all, hold on for a second. I'm going to give you the floor, babe. You know I got nothing but respect for you.
Okay.
Stop it. Stop it. I just explained 3 fucking times during this live stream why you don't stand in the fatal funnel. I'm gonna put the link. If you want to ask questions, here it is, right here. Here's the link to the damn thing. See, this is the bad part about black men these days, and Babe will say this with me. So will AB. So will fucking Noir. So will Black Angry Man. Stop being fucking cowards and stand on your fucking square and talk live on this fucking panel about your grievances. Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
When I explained it, you got the floor, babe.
Here's the issue as I see it, as far as the controversy with this. And they're not going to like this. As you know, when I came on here, my channel was dealing with racism and white supremacy. And I believe I opened my channel, the Bitter Truth Show was in April of 2007. It was right before
Right before I joined the department. Right before I joined the. It was no, actually, Trayvon was like way after about. It
Wasn't
had to
like
be 08.
2012 or that was later.
But go ahead, finish the statement, man.
But at any rate, I was all racism. And then as I got older and I actually started reviewing more evidence, all right, and this was before I even moved down here, I started seeing things really as they were. Prime example, the little boy, not Tamir Rice, but the other little boy that got shot in Columbus, Ohio. He was 13. He was with a 19-year-old. Him and the 19-year-old were out there robbing folks. All right, at 7:30 at night in winter. All of you who live up north know that come 7:30 at night during the winter, it looks like 10:30 at night. Somebody saw them. They called the police because they already had patrols out there because this is what they did for fun. The 19-year-old gives the 13-year-old the gun. They're running down an alley, police foot chase, stop, freeze. The 13-year-old turns around with gun in hand. Cop shoots, kills him. This was after the Tamir Rice situation. Of course, everybody's up in arms, and then because come to find out the gun was a toy gun. It was a BB gun. Next day, chief of police shows the gun, holds it up, and it looks like a real gun.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a real gun in the dark in an alleyway. Cop had to make a split decision. After that, everybody shut their mouths. They shut their mouths. But nobody asked the question, why was the 19-year-old out there with a 13-year-old robbing folks? And if you really want to make a racial component about it, they were robbing white folks specifically in the short north.
Oh,
well,
boy.
not the short north. They were in the bad part of Columbus, that short east side. All right. I mean, that's like the projects. They were over there because that's when they were regentrifying the area. So they were robbing white folks. Of course, the cops is going to show up. I mean, if you really want to throw race into it. But my thing is that now here we are during the Biden administration, post George Floyd era. And if you actually watch these arrest videos, which I've been showing on my channel, I know y'all watch account commentary. He does some of these things. These arrest videos, the cops treat people with kid gloves, people who are really just spoiled children in adult bodies. cursing the cop out, trying to kick at him, spit at him. I mean, things that used to get your head split back in the day. Actually, what, 4 years ago? That doesn't happen now. Thousands of black men and women get arrested every goddamn day. We have this one situation, and we want to act like it's a racial thing and the cop was wrong or whatnot, but the cop was in a split second situation. For those of you saying that, oh, the video was edited, go and watch the press conference down there in Florida where the sheriff walked everybody through the video from start to finish, from the time that the cop pulled up and the property manager. Y'all say it's a Karen, but if you listen to what she was saying was that, hey, yo, the tenants, they keep complaining about this particular apartment because every time they turn around, there's a domestic situation going on. And she actually said she even went up to hear what was going on. She heard the guy say, "Shut up, bitch," and then a slapping sound. The woman actually called because the lady called. The woman was like, "Yes, I need help." A lady answered the phone, his wife. She sounded in distress. "Yes, I need help." So she's like, "Screw it. Let me call the police." Because everybody was complaining. So she was explaining to the cop as she walked into the elevator. She told him which unit it was and where to go to get there. And she stayed downstairs. The cop went to the unit. He heard people talking inside. I mean, if you really listen, you can hear them talking. He's talking in a stern voice to the chick that's inside, be it his wife or girlfriend. You can hear him sternly talking. So the cop knocked, and of course he got out of the way. He got out of the way just in case, dude, because you never know. It's a domestic. Dude might start blasting. He might come out hot, or he might not answer the door at all. So the cop thought about it, said, "No, let me at least come over here." He changed position, knocked again, announced himself. He did it twice. And when the guy finally came to the door, you can hear him say, "Police," and then he opened the door with the gun in his hand. I thought that was very, very dumb. It was a loss of life, unfortunately. Unfortunately. But none of this would have happened if he would have done two things. One, not be arguing with your chick like that, going back and forth with her. I know, I don't care how frustrated you get. Sometimes you got to take a breath. And two, coming to the door with a gun in your hand. If you thought it was robbers, you would have looked through the peephole. If you thought it was anybody else outside the police, you'd have been like, "Who is it?" But that's not what he did. He knew who was at the door. He heard them all 3 times pounding on the door and twice when he announced himself. But as I think it was Charles or somebody alluded to, because he was in the service, he got his chest puffed out. He thinking he gonna be big and bad and have a stare down or a shouting match, or argument match with the police with a gun in his hand. And the cop will tell you flat out, and tell me if I'm wrong, it's my life over yours every single time. I have a family to go home to. I have a family to go home to as well. It ain't about you right now. It's about me. I'll deal with you second. I need to make sure I'm safe. That's their training. Am I wrong, Charles? I guess he stepped away. But I'm going to put it to y'all like this. The problem is that y'all watch so many of these pro-black race baiting channels that you can't see things objectively.
Pander Africans.
Yeah, I go on Tariq's page. It ain't nothing but racial bullshit. On his Twitter, it's racial bullshit all day, every day. I'd be like, damn, like he must do this just to get clicks and views from, white folks and silly black folks who want to sit there and argue with them all goddamn day because they ain't got nothing else better to do with their lives. I guess Twitter must pay him for that. All right.
I was watching this footage of this cop pulled this black chick over, man. White cop. Now, I kid you not, babe. This cop did literally everything right. And he saw something. He said he found something suspicious in her trunk or something. He goes to put her in handcuffs. this chick wiles out. He chased her around the car at least a couple times. Still has not drawn his weapon. She gets in the car, tries to start the car, shoots him. That's when he draws his weapon and shoots her. She drives off. You know, he asks for backup, and I guess she crashed somewhere and died later. But yet and still, you have black folk coming up. Police brutality. I'm like, where? I got to defend the white cop. He did. I saw at least 4 or 5 different things where he could have pulled out his weapon. He didn't do it. He didn't pull out his weapon till she shot him.
Dude, I see this stuff whenever I get up on here. Like, I'll go through these cop watch channels, and the absolute ridiculousness that these people that they wind up arresting display. I mean, it's literally spoiled children. It's literally spoiled children, men and women. The sad part about it is when it's men, particularly brothers, we're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Take the arrest. Take the arrest. Matter of fact, if you actually changed your tune, changed your tone, relax, like, yeah, man, I was doing this, I was doing that. I know it was stupid. Sometimes the cops, especially with the way laws are, where they arrest you and you'll be out on a signature bond within the hour or two, they'd be like, yo, man, look, okay, here, look, I'm just gonna write you this ticket, or here, I'm gonna write you this bond ticket or whatever. You show up to court, they'll send you a thing in the mail. You show up to court, you don't even have to get arrested. They don't even hardly even arrest you now because of these laws, especially for theft. Just cop to it. You know you did it. Why you want to argue, fuss, fight, spit, curse, yell, scream like a little girl, only to wind up getting dropped down onto your stomach and cuffed anyway? Yeah. Some of these guys, I'm sorry, let me get this out. Some of these guys actually be gaming the system. Oh, oh, my back, I'm in pain. So the cops, because of the I can't breathe law, or the George Floyd law, if you mention that you're in pain, they have to call an ambulance. If you say that you are a danger to yourself, they have to call an ambulance. People go through all types of stuff to delay going to jail. You know what I'm saying? And it's sadly, and it's ridiculous, because the majority of them, again, are black males. Black males making fools of themselves. Go ahead.
Yeah. Like I said, it's not. Sometimes you look at some of these videos, man. Like, wait a minute, I gotta defend the cop. Usually the cop do that. The cop goes beyond, goes beyond the pale, and I saw a couple of videos like that. Cop did everything good, but person acted like a fool. What you want him to do?
You know what? I'm tired of motherfuckers trying to use fucking shit. I'm gonna answer. You know what, Hebrew of Hebrews? I got a little time before I go to work, because everybody. Fuck you, Rob, because I'm starting to use your term, everybody. Fuck that shit. Is everybody, everyone. I'm gonna answer your first question. Is it the police job to de-escalate the situation? Yes. Sometimes de-escalation is shooting.
Yep.
Here it comes to.
Because guess what? You can go from 0 to 150 that quick. If you see a fucking gun that close, are you going to be like, hey, pal, let's talk about it? No.
Shoot first, ask questions later.
Because here's the part of it. How many fucking kids do I have? How many god kids? How many nephews? How many great nephews? Do you think you met my sister? Do you think she wants to see my fucking ass in a casket? My mother. She just buried her father. You think she wants her son in a casket?
No.
See, people don't think that you don't have a fucking family. I wish like hell. How y'all doing, folks? Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah,
You're good.
The people called me on my phone, and I don't like to boof people, but this is very important.
Mm-hmm.
I have two godsons. I have my ex-girlfriend's son, who comes here every weekend. I have my son. I have my three great nephews, about to be 5. I have a great niece. I have a niece. I have a nephew who's active duty. I have scores of wrestlers. I have 20 years of wrestlers I've trained. If something happens to me, you got a lot of vengeful motherfuckers coming for you. You know what people always say? Oh, he was the best of us. You don't harm him. We'll kill you. To keep those motherfuckers off your ass, I got to preserve myself. I don't want to be one of those people to tell you our job sometimes, and I'm going to tell you what my law professor said in the academy. Sometimes the most democratic things you can do is put 2 well-placed shots in the forehead of a person, because there is no talking down a fucking person who is hell-bent on destruction. Now, when have I ever bigged up Chavez for putting his knee on George Floyd's neck when I said, yeah, that motherfucker should go for murder? He's a murderer. He's a criminal. He's not a cop. He's a criminal.
And he got Swiss cheesed in prison.
Yep, he got stabbed up.
About 22 times, I think.
Yeah, first of all, 2 things. Say what you want about prison, but there are some honorable people in prison.
Yes, sir.
You don't fuck with kids, and people hear about you in prison. Say what you want about people in prison, they're going to exact their pound of flesh. A lot of you bitch, and I'm going to say this, and I'm a Baltimorean, true and true out. I bleed purple, motherfuckers. A lot of you, when Mackenzie Elliott got shot and killed, a 3-year-old little girl on her porch playing, minding her own damn business. How many of you bitch ass niggas said we gonna go get this nigga and bring him to justice? How many? I was the officer who had to take over for the officer who was the primary officer. How many? Stop judging me when I gotta live with a lot of shit that I've seen. Nobody ever says, Charles, are you mentally okay? What the fuck are you going to tell me when you see a baby dead? That could not be me. I would have turned to Frank Castle and I'd have punished every goddamn living thing in front of me till I get the right motherfucking answers. Tell me, what the fuck a 3-year-old deserve? What did a 3-year-old do to deserve a fucking ending like that? You're right, LAPD. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. You fuck around and find out. Trust me, 22 years old, and I'm not trying to challenge the intelligence of this young airman. But guess what? At 42, at 22, I already knew. If I open the door and I got a gun in hand with the police, I'm making myself a fucking target. But he says, I understand that being a police officer is hard job, but if you're always in fear for your life, should you find another? Here's the point, right? Let me ask you this question. If you work as a bank teller, is there a heightened ability of you being robbed?
Yes.
If you work as a doctor, my bad. If you work as a doctor, is there a heightened chance of you being exposed to diseases?
Yes.
So here's my thing. Was that guy looking to be in fear, or was that guy looking to be, hey, I'm trying to solve this issue so I could go the fuck about my day? Do you think he was in I want to shoot a nigga mode?
Well, Charles, that's why I asked what I asked earlier about the training, because people, like I said earlier, people keep saying cops need better training, and I'm saying this is how they're trained.
You can't, from that distance, from the length of a couch, and if I had a gun right here, how fast does it take me to do this? If I had a gun in my hand, and you the officer who come into the scene, and I open the door with a gun in my hand, what are you gonna do? You gonna let me have it? Why?
And also,
You want to live
wasn't it
too,
down in
man?
North Carolina? What was it, last week? That guy, he lit up like 5 cops. Like he killed like 5 cops.
Let
Wasn't
me
that just last
explain
week?
to you. Let me explain to you. Do you know me and my second cousin, which is my mother's cousin? Do you know we were armed at my grandfather's funeral? You know why? Does the South have a history of people either angry with the system or racist coming into places of worship to harm black people?
Absolutely.
The only reason I ain't sit at my grandfather's burial with my rifle was because he was on family property. You get that? There's 3 funerals I was armed to the teeth. I had 3 magazines and I had 3 magazines in my pocket, and I had one in the chamber, a magazine with one in the chamber with my gun tucked in my fucking pants. So there's times you got to know when to fold them and know when to hold them. Here's the link. Hebrews, come on up and I will answer any question as long as you come in peace. You may think it's a stupid question. I don't. I'd rather answer the question and you live long, and prosper than to live in ignorance and then wonder why things are not working out. Yeah. Chris Brown said, okay, but has anyone answered this question? Why did he come to the door with a weapon in the first place? Do not excuse why he had a gun, but what normal person answers the door with a gun? Well, depends on the culture, depends on the area. Some people do that. Have I answered my door with a gun? Sure. But at the same time, if I recognize it's the police, I'll be like, give me a second. I might close the door and be like, give me a second and put the gun up. Give me a second. I'm armed. I might just peek my head a little bit so I could see, or at least an eye, so I could see. And I'll close the door again, be like, give me a second. But I always tell people, look, give me time. Too many black people have this bravado and ego, especially black men, where it doesn't need to be. Shut up. There's nothing wrong with taking an L. What's up, James? Long time no see.
Hey, what up, Charles, man? I'm driving, so I'm listening in the background. Once I pull up, I'll type in.
All right. I was down Carolina for my granddaddy's funeral. We stocked up on ammo and magazines. God damn, I need to go back there more often. I'm going to tell you, time makes things greater. I think black men need to learn that lesson very vividly. Well, I don't think I should do. Shut the fuck up and do your time. Shut the
Hey,
fuck
Charles.
up. Go ahead.
So enhance, make sure, no, embrace, my bad. Embrace brought up a good point. The thing is this, right? Every time there's a situation like this that reaches national news, the number one thing that a lot of people don't do is check to see what type of training that their local county, state, or whatever level of police officers doing, right? Training has changed over the years, even since the situation that happened in Los Angeles. What was that back in '91? I keep forgetting his name. When the dude got pulled out of the truck and he got beat up by the cops. Ronnie King.
Rodney
Ronnie
King.
King. Yeah, Ronnie King. So ever since from that point all the way to now, training has changed. They say,
Yeah.
oh, the training has changed. And what has happened is that it's gotten more restrictive, right?
Yeah.
But still, it reached a certain point where police officers do need to go through the sequence. And when people come up here and then ask questions, it's like they don't even know what the sequence is, and they want to argue, to a person that actually learned and is trying to teach people, like, hey, this is the sequence, and this is the reason why you're not supposed to be doing what you're doing. And they still want to
Yeah.
argue that.
I'm gonna tell you what this one is. You are. It's not just the police need training. It's actually the civilians need training as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Oops. I know I'm cooning for that part. Because it used to be that the police and citizenry used to go hand to hand. Oh man, shout out to the master teacher for the $80 holler. We gotta stop and do it for this. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me see.
Now for a lesson. You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond! Plus!
Thank you for the Cash App support, master teacher. You gotta remember this fact for the and thank you, Mr. Davis. I'm gonna say this for you. Hold up. And Mr. Brandon.
By the power of Grayskull.
I go, he says, Charles, you got that all might. What you know about anime? LOL. I go back to fucking Speed Racer, Thundercats, and Project Echo, and Fist of the North Star, Ninja Scroll. Come on now. What was he thinking coming to the door armed? What was the outcome? See, this is the part. Good, you know. And thanks to you, Mr. Boxley. For the $5 holla, man. Thank you. He says, "Good afternoon, Officer Charles. Thank you for your service as a lifelong Republican in support of law enforcement officers. The brother was wrong as left 2 feet for coming to the door armed in a discussion. See, I'm never gonna say that it doesn't hurt. Okay, it hurts me to my core to know that a brother." Not and remember, this ain't no hood brother. This is military personnel. This hurts. One of the best of us. Yes, I did start season 7. I'll talk about that next time. It hurts. It hurts to see a young brother, 22 years old, full of life, full of vigor, starting his military career. But what happens is we got to teach our young men that there's a protocol. See, because we're in a gynocracy, this is part of the gynocracy that BGS have taught so many of us for so long about. The gynocracy is not just the women, it's the men. Remember that. Y'all feel me on that?
No, I definitely do, Charles.
See, we don't talk about the gynocracy when it comes to men and male behavior. We don't talk about that enough. Why do you think you get a bunch of dudes wanting to fight and be bitchy? Oh, because I bumped into you by mistake. And then the guy apologized and say, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean that, bro."
You know who used to teach boys and girls about dealing with the police? It was the
Who's
fathers.
that?
It was
The
the
father.
fathers. The mothers would it's okay. Like, who was that? The one basketball player, him and his sister, they wound up moving to a white part of town, and they were getting harassed daily by racists. And the mother was just telling them, "We'll just ignore them." But the father was like, "Hell no, knock that motherfucking block off. Don't put up with
Yeah.
that shit. Your
Yeah.
mother's out here getting you killed."
Oh, yeah.
Even
Yeah,
Khalid
yeah.
Muhammad said, "Hey, is yes, sir, no, sir? Am I being detained? Am I under arrest? What am I under arrest for?" He said, "Take the arrest. It's because your whole mission when you walk out the door is to make it home."
Yeah. And you survive. See, the survival tactics of young black men is lacking. But Sergeant Faulkner, what do you mean? It's lacking because you have no fucking common sense. Even a lion, as powerful and majestic as it is, will not challenge a prime in their prime wildebeest and hunt it because that lion knows that wildebeest got just as much chance to kill me as I do it. But only women whose asses are never on the line will tell you to tempt fate. But I'm sorry, Hebrew or Hebrews, how you doing? What questions do you have?
Shalom, shalom. How y'all doing? How the chat going? What's
Shalom.
going on, fellas? Got all my brothers up in here. Two schools of thought. Two schools of thought. Let me read you something real quick. This is the origin of modern day policing can be traced back to the slave patrol. The earliest form of slave patrol was created in the Carolinas in the early 1700s with one of the missions to establish a system to terrorize, squash slave uprisings with the captivity to pursue, apprehend, and return runaway slaves to their owner. Now, I went all the way back to the 1700s, but I'm talking about the origin of police officers. Police officers all the way up until this very point, there has not been like a good setting. It's not good between black people and police officers. However, it would not have been my first thought if it was me to answer the door with a gun, knowing there's somebody outside saying, "Hey, it's the sheriff." He identified as the police.
Okay. All right. Rob, come here real quick. First of all, modern policing got his origins from London, from Sir Robert Peel. That's why you call the police over there bobbies. And if you want to go through historical, ancient policing actually got their origins from the hoplites of ancient Greece. That's where you get the shields from. What you're talking about is the origins of bail's bondsmen. What does bond mean?
To bail out.
It comes from the word bondage. Slave catchers were bail bondsmen. What happens if you run off of a bail? What does the bail bondsman do?
Well, the bail bondsman, yeah, they bail you. You get bailed out, as if like today's
What
term.
happens? What happens if you run off the bail if you don't show up to court?
Well, they put a warrant for your arrest.
And he becomes what?
Incarcerated.
Bounty hunter. A bounty hunter.
Yeah. If you want to.
The origin of slave catchers, the modern day bail bondsmen and bounty hunters come from slave catchers.
Yeah, if you don't want to like say it barbarically, but it's all the same thing.
So it's not law enforcement. That's the misconception of it. Law enforcement started in Europe. You know why? When Sir Robert Peel was over there in London, he said instead of getting the police from the aristocracy, guess where he got the police from? The people who were living in the towns.
Right.
So, when people make that misnomer, it's because they didn't read long enough, knowing that policing goes way back into the headlights.
Understand, but here because so-called black people were brought over here on slave ships in 1619, they started
What's another word for slavery?
Bondage.
What is a bail bondsman? One who returns you to what?
To your slave master.
One who returns you to bondage.
Yeah, bondage, yeah.
So, with that knowledge being said, law enforcement and slave catchers have nothing in common.
Wait a minute. So what I just read was not valid?
It's not. Let me tell you why. Modern policing didn't even start in the United States. It started in England.
Okay, but wasn't the people that was in Africa that was put on a slave ship dispersed through the diaspora during the 1600s?
Wait, hold on. What
that doesn't have any.
Hold on,
that
Charles.
doesn't.
Hold on. Okay,
hold on. This is a learning moment.
Okay.
What does that have to do with law enforcement? Enforcement of law.
Enforcement of law. I'm talking, and see, that's what I'm talking about. The court. That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm not talking about the law enforcement. We do need law enforcement. If I get in trouble, I'm going to need to dial 911. I'm talking about the relationship that black people have had with the police officers from day one.
Black people had a bad relationship with police officers because black people had no representation in it. Now, when you're talking about slave catchers, that's something totally different, my brother. That's nothing that has any correlation towards it. Because if we look at it vividly, slave catchers and police have no difference. Now, if you're talking about bail bondsmen, that's different because bail bondsmen are taking you from when you escape back to bondage. So, when we look at the relationship of it, look at how many young black men are being taught by their mothers to be loud and obnoxious to people in authority. Why do you think you have so many behavioral issues in schools for young black boys?
So I agree that there are less fathers in the house, and people should be taught by their fathers how to act according to the men, right, and the women too. There needs to be fathers in our house. I do agree with that. Like I said, I don't agree with him answering the door with the gun when the cop just already announced himself that he was the cop. But him not able to see out his peek hole, and they said that he wasn't able to see out his peek hole, so he don't know who it was. A lot of people, they used to do ding dong ditch. I don't know if y'all remember Ding Dong Ditch, but people come and knock on your door. They get you anything to open up your door. You know, he could be getting robbed. That's what he probably thought.
No.
If I'm getting robbed, right? If I'm getting robbed, right? I'm not going to answer my door.
Charles, can I piggyback? Can I piggyback after?
Go ahead.
So, Charles knows me, and some of y'all know. Currently in law enforcement, Charles knows I've been training. Always advocate for law enforcement guys to train and civilians. I will say what bothers me about this young brother is that I'm leaving through the email. This brother is a special operator in the Air Force. Number one. Number two, and Charles can attest to this. Even through when you get to certain levels of training in the military, especially when it comes to firearms, right? There's a certain the word I want to use, professionalism or a way you conduct yourself, right? In any instance of whether you're engaging with law enforcement, civilian, or anything, right? And the fact that for some odd reason, with all the training he's done in a civilian environment where Charles can attest, he's been overseas. It's two different playing fields. It disturbs me to know that the young man went for the gun as a way of answering a door in the first place with all the training that he knows.
Oh, okay, that's one school of thought. But the question is, but the question is, did he have a right to have a gun? He was in the military.
No. That's not that. No, this is what. Let me. Okay, Charles can attest to this. The Air Force is not known for infantry guys, right?
No.
Let's keep that a whole hundred.
The closest they got is security forces, which that's their MPs.
Yes. Anything above that, that means you know and willingly know from CCTs, PJs, and I think it's STS squadrons.
Yeah.
Right. What you know, it's like, you know, if you want to become a Navy SEAL or a recon scientist, you know you're playing with you're dancing with the devil. So this is why when they go through all this extensive training, and Charles and the QRF, there is a level of professionalism and understanding that when you are having a firearm, no matter what the circumstances is, it is used for lethal force.
I agree.
Right? So
yes,
the fact that at the end, it's not about whether he can legally own the gun. When you take the mantle to be professionally trained on that level, even Charles can tell you from security work, law enforcement work, if an officer approaches and he sees, they say, what do you see in his hands? Just like if you overseas, what's in his hands? If you are doing protection detail, what's in his hands?
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason, and that young man, and it hurts me to say this, he knows better.
Hands kill. Hands kill all the time. And here's the thing about it. You cannot tell me when some of these situations arise that when you talking about it, this is where I stop a lot of young men. I let you talk out of being respectful. First of all, when you talking about slave catchers, I've studied history. I'm a historian by trade. I may not have the degree, but that's what I've been by trade for a very long time since a child. Researching is my thing. Ask BGS, ask Noir, ask Embraceability, ask Angry Black Man, ask James. I will research shit, just find you the perfect answer. Number one, just because you have the right to do something doesn't mean you should do it at that time.
And this is a perfect example.
Well, that's why y'all were talking about split seconds in the heat of the moment. You know what I mean? Like I'm saying, I'm not saying that there was a right way to handle the situation. I'm not saying that there's a wrong way to handle the situation. I'm saying he answered the door. He had a gun in his hand. If it was me, nah, that wouldn't have been my first thought. However, he did answer the door with the gun. He didn't have the gun pointed.
How many times have you been in deadly force situations?
Deadly force situation, I'll probably say 6, 7.
So
Ask me the
Have
same question.
Have you ever been a cop? Hebrews.
No.
Okay.
No.
Charles, remember you told me about the ride-alongs with civilians and put them in these situations, right? And most times when they get faced down with a situation like that, they probably would shoot more times than a cop would.
Yes.
Oh, they definitely would shoot. They definitely would shoot because here's the issue. Everybody wants to say what they would do when the stress is on. The stress is on.
Right,
And
I agree.
you got to look at it. When you see that gun, you don't know what his temperament is. And from that distance, from that distance where he was, could you take away? Could you block away? Could you run away? Could you do anything?
I don't know if my first instance was to shoot.
Answer the question.
Isn't it?
That's not the question he asked you, though. Answer the question. You asked the question.
No, I wouldn't have shot.
No, hold on a second. Ask the question against Charles and listen to his question and then answer it, okay?
From the distance,
yes, sir.
From the distance where he was when he saw the gun.
Yes.
Did he have the option to run, to hide behind cover, or anything like that?
No.
What was his only option when he saw the gun?
Order him to drop the weapon.
You're going to order somebody 6 feet away from you to drop a gun.
Yeah.
You be shot.
If I'm a police officer. Hold on. But police officers do get shot. That's my point.
Yeah.
It comes with the job. That's my point. That's where I make my argument.
Wait a minute. Here's the question, right? Would you want to be shot?
No, nobody wants to get shot. Like you were saying, every cop wants to go home to his family. I agree. But it comes with the job. If you're always in fear of hold on. If you are always in fear for your life, why are you a cop? I'm going to hold your feet to the fire.
Hold on. Calm the voice down. We're talking. Here's the part. Does fear keep you sharp?
Somewhat.
Yes. So in other words, I'm a multiple-time wrestling champion. I have butterflies in my stomach between every competition. The times I don't, I lose. You know why? Because that doesn't keep me sharp. I'm too arrogant. Guess what's called when a cop gets arrogant? Tombstone courage.
Charles.
Am I going to gamble with that guy with a gun in hand? What's faster? His reaction, his action, or my reaction?
Your reaction is faster.
No.
Oh, really? Oh, no.
Okay.
Don't kick the chair. Don't kick the chair. Right. So, what's your favorite sport?
I don't like sports.
You play video games?
No, sometimes.
Which game you play?
Zombies. Call of Duty. Play Gears of War.
So wait a minute. Perfect example. If a guy's shooting at you and he's sniping you from a distance, what's faster, his action or your reaction?
If he's sniping and he's shooting at me, all I can do is get down.
That's not the question.
No. Answer my question. What's faster, his action or your reaction?
His action.
So let's take it to real time. 6 feet away. Who has the drop on who?
Well, in that situation, I would say that the cop did.
How?
How?
No, explain it.
Because the door went open, there was 1 to 2 words that was mentioned by the cop. I think the cop said, "Come out." And at that point, When as he was talking, when he said come out, he noticed the gun in his hand. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And so, in other words, let me take this, Charles. So, in other words, the guy that has a gun in his hand with a finger on the trigger is slower than you reaching down and pulling yours. Is that what you're saying?
So, repeat that question, sir.
In other words, the guy with the gun in his hand with his finger on the trigger is slower than you trying to reach to your holster and withdraw your weapon. Is that what you're saying?
In that situation, I would say yes, because he was a police officer.
That doesn't mean anything, okay?
What?
Doesn't mean nothing, okay? Who's faster, the guy with the gun already in his hand or the guy that has to reach for his gun?
I would say that's hard to say because, hold on.
No, it's not.
Hold on. Charles was saying, how many seconds does it take to pull a gun? Like 1 second.
Listen, okay? Who's faster, the guy that already has a weapon in hand or the guy has to reach for it?
I can't give a definitive answer for that.
Yes, you can.
Man, stop being obtuse
Hebrew,
and dishonest. You're being intellectually dishonest. Just cut it out.
Hebrew, remove the uniform.
Okay, go ahead.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
The uniform. You have a person with the gun up and the gun that has to be reached. Who is faster?
And remember,
I would probably say within maybe 1/10 of a second, maybe the guy who's holding the gun in his hand.
How long does it take for a bullet to fly into your body?
Especially in that short of a distance.
And yeah, because you said what, 6 feet, right? I would probably say the guy that's holding the gun, if he draw his gun up, according to the cop who pulled his gun, you know what I mean?
You know what?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Have you heard of the 21 feet rule?
No.
Rule? With a knife, okay? If that guy comes to the door with a knife in his hand, the cop's going to shoot him, okay?
I agree.
Okay.
Why?
Much less the why do you think that is?
Because the cop feels that he's like his life is in danger. Exactly. Or he's trying to prevent somebody from getting hurt because somebody has a knife with intent.
Explain the 21-foot rule for him, Charles.
Number one, there's a 21-foot rule for people with knives because from 7 yards, 21 feet, that person can cut you before you even get the holster out your gun out the holster, or even before you get a shot off in some cases. Now, I got to put this up for a second because this is what you're doing currently. It's not insulting, but this is what you're doing. You got to start answering questions directly. Why would, if a person 6 feet away with the gun in hand, you will believe, why do you think the cop has an advantage? I want to hear this one.
He said he was a police officer. He announced it when he knocked on the door.
Where was his gun?
Say it again, sir.
Where was his gun? Was his gun holstered?
I couldn't see. From the camera that was on the cop chest, I couldn't see whether his hand was on the gun or not. But when the door opened, the cop fired quickly. All I saw was when the door opened, the guy was holding.
He said,
yeah.
Step back. So that was like 3 seconds, right?
No, not 3. It was not. That was not 3 seconds. That was faster.
Go back and count it. It's about 3 seconds.
About 3 seconds. Okay, let's say 3.
Go back and
so at 3 seconds, the cop just I'm just gonna fire. How come he didn't say drop the weapon?
He could have. Everybody says he probably should have, but in the heat of the moment, guess what? He's not a machine.
Right. Yeah, I agree with what you said, BGS. In the heat of the moment, split second.
He's not a machine. But guess what they're going to go by? Did he follow his training? Okay. And every cop that has been interviewed, viewing that tape, including Charles, said he did exactly what he was supposed to do. He's actually within training. Okay, that's
He's in
after that.
compliance.
That's all there is to it. Okay, could he been made a different decision, had showed more mercy on the guy by saying drop the gun? Possibly. Okay, but the thing is, we don't know what's going through that cop's mind. He could have just came from another car where a guy pulled a gun on him or a knife on him. Right? He's gonna be edgy. How do you know that the cop's not that way when he gets to this call?
Let me break in here for a second.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question, bro. Did you see the video where the white army sergeant was shot and killed getting caught up in a pedophile sting? Did you see that video?
Nah, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
But go ahead.
Let me explain it to you what happened. He knocked on the door of the motel room. The police opened the door. He saw it was the police. He pulled a gun. They got to wrestling with him, but because they went to grab him. When they opened the door, they went to grab him, but he pulled out the gun. So they were wrestling with him with the gun. And then the one cop emptied his clip into the dude's groin.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Jesus.
Emptied the clip into his groin. The guy, he lived for a minute, but then he died. So I ask you, in that situation, was they supposed to say, "Sir, put the gun down"?
In that situation, I mean, it's from my understanding that the police supposed to try to de-escalate the situation. In a moment of life, hold on. In a moment of life and death, that depends on. Hold on. Let me respond. Depending on life, because it's life and death. Depending on what the cop feel, what the cop been going through, how much stress he's going up under, right? That's his judgment. And then I talked to a police officer. I said, "Hey, when is the right time to pull your gun?" He said, "When somebody else pull a gun." He said, "I get into." He said, "Hold on." He said,
"No, stop right there. Stop right there. What was in the dude's hand?"
When another person have a gun.
No. What was in that guy's hand that opened the door?
A gun.
His gun was already pulled, right?
It was in his hand. It wasn't aimed.
No, it doesn't have to be aimed.
Matter.
Pulled.
Doesn't matter.
Hold on.
No, it was not in a holster. It was not in a holster. No, it was in his hand.
It was in his hand. That's pulled.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question, right? And I'm gonna answer this question too. I'm missing the bit about the bail bondsmen and police have one thing in common. Bail bondsmen do not enforce law.
They do not.
No.
That's why you have law enforcement. They are coming to get somebody who jumps bail, which means they were bailed out on bond to get you out of what? Bondage in America, because a lot of people don't read. Niggas don't read.
They don't read.
Slavery is still legal if what?
Right. It's the 13th Amendment.
Slavery is still legal unless slavery is legal only under what?
If you commit a crime.
Punishable by crime.
Yeah.
Right.
Police
I agree.
were never involved with that because you had actual law enforcement. Modern law enforcement started with Sir Robert Peel in London. The historical text back to the Heplites, because that's why police carry shields, the badge.
Policemen are called what?
So,
peace officers. Okay.
Peace.
Right. Which is an illusion.
No, it's not.
Okay. No, it's not.
Okay, let me ask you.
It's not an illusion.
Hold on. Hebrew, where do you live? What city do you live in?
Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, man.
Okay. What happens in Phoenix, Arizona if they get rid of all the cops? Anarchy. Okay. So who keeps the peace, sir?
Well, I mean, I don't know because
no.
Hold on. I'm answering a question.
Answer it truthfully, okay?
Because if you got people killing people, does it change if you put like a suit and a badge on somebody?
Yes, it does. It's been proven.
Come on, Hebrew.
Bro, clearly you have not been paying attention to what's been going on.
He wants to win the argument. Okay,
he wants to win.
There's no argument to win.
Go back. To
I know. I read him that.
Go back to Montreal, 1969. Know what happened?
Go ahead.
The police went on strike for 2 days. Okay. Two. Okay. Guess what happened? Anarchy.
What, a purge?
No, anarchy, right? People start stealing, start robbing each other, start killing each
Right.
other. Guess what the
Just
police
like
had to
they're
do?
doing now.
Hold on.
Look at Pittsburgh.
Hold on. What did the police have to do?
Well, they would have to, have to go in there, whatever, and resolve the situation as best as they could.
And restore order. Okay.
Yeah.
It's called peace. That's why they call them peace officers. That's what they're there for.
See,
right, but are you saying that police don't make bad decisions? Because that's what I'm getting from it.
All humans
hold on. How old are you, Hebrew?
Say it again. How old am I?
How old are you? Yeah.
50.
50. Okay. Let me ask you this question, right? Are we better off with police or better off without them?
I would say we need police.
Oh,
no. So, even better. So, what would happen if all the police said, because we have over 100,000 jurisdictions and about 1 million law enforcement officers in this country? Remember what I said about the research? I do that. I'm BGS when it comes to law enforcement at some point. So, what if those people, remember, we have 350 million people in the United States. What happened if those million fucking officers, whether state, local, and federal, says, fuck you, I'm out?
Well, I mean, we're going to have a problem. We're going to need some police officers. Right? I mean, like, not like, am I in full agreement on what's that saying? They got that term now where they're saying defund the police. Right? We're like, we do need police officers, right? If I get in trouble right now, I'm gonna need to dial 911.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So are you gonna come to the door with the gun in your hand?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. I don't. My first thought, my opinion, he should not have came to the door with a gun in his hand. If that was me, if I was standing next to him, I would say, "Hey, bro, I think you should put down the gun before you open up the door." There's a guy out there. We can't see him, but he's announcing himself as the police officer. I don't think he would lie about being a sheriff. However, he has a right to have a gun.
Yeah. No. Not in his hand. Not in his hand to come to the door with a gun.
Not in hand. That's what I'm saying. Not in hand. Yeah.
Hebrew. When do you actually apply discretion as an individual?
If I was the cop walking up to the door and knocking on the door, at that point, I'm applying discretion.
Okay. So the fact that this young man, when he heard the sheriff announce who he is, what makes you think it is, just out of all things you could grab, anything, why a firearm?
Yeah, that wasn't smart, because the lady said when she was talking to the police officer, she said there was a domestic issue going on a certain floor and she gave the wrong address. The cop went to the wrong address. Hold on. I'm playing the scenario.
But you have to ask the question first, though.
You haven't even answered the question. You act like I don't know anything about this.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that you don't know. I'm not belittling. I'm not disrespecting nobody in the chat.
Hebrew. We can't keep deflecting the question. Answer the question first, and then you give your expertise. Right? Answer the question first.
Okay, go ahead. Answer it again, please.
Ask it again.
The question is, under what discretion as a human being do you have when someone announces who they are?
I full discretion.
So what, out of all things you can grab, why the fucking hammer?
It wouldn't have been my first thought. I don't know why he did that. I'm not him. Like I said, if I was him, I wouldn't have did that.
Okay.
I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, so we get past that. Yeah. So we all agree with that. Now,
yes,
as an officer, as an individual, even if I wasn't an officer and I knock on your door, and I made aware who I am, and I see a gun, a knife, or something that can cause bodily harm, because we all know we've been in street fights, we've seen violence on TV, so we understand what happens when someone has a firearm, regardless if the gun is pointed on the floor, whatever it is. It don't look good. You play Call of Duty, you know what guns do. What do you expect a person, even not in uniform, what is his natural reaction? Because he ain't gonna, well, you want him to jump off the second floor balcony?
I mean, you make light of that. You make light of that situation. I'm not making light of that situation.
Hebrew,
I mean, a brother did die, man.
Hebrew, you live in Phoenix, Arizona. I shoot up there a lot with law enforcement. It is a motherfucking wild, wild west up there.
Yeah, we got the
There's
cartel and all
them
that.
cops are a little bit more on edge because when you have a state that says you can carry, and I've been hey, you know Casa Grande, where a lot of Mexican cartels come through.
Yeah.
Right? You know, and I know them dudes is not carrying 22s.
Yeah, they're carrying ARs and all that.
So at the end of the day, regardless of where, it's sad to say, yes, it's bad that this ended in this situation. But you as a human being, whether the man had a uniform or not, anyone who sees a gun, he's not sticking around saying hi. We ain't exchanging business cards, brother.
No. I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying who's right or who's wrong. I'm just throwing my 2 cents. I'm not saying, hey, you guys are right for saying that, you know, the cop opened up, the cop knocked on the door, he opened up, cop shot him. Oh well, you know, lunch anybody?
Hebrew, this is what I think.
That you are.
This is what I think. This is what I think we're trying to point out to you, and this is what I was going to bring up to Charles. He can attest to this. If you ever done force on force with simunition rounds, no bullets, I can tell you, them shits are like what do you call it? You know, steroids. You have to wear certain protection because if you get hit in the eye, you going to the hospital. You ain't seeing no more.
Yeah.
Human nature,
I agree.
I can tell you, human nature, when they see firearms, the first time I did force on force, I almost I had a blank spot. I'm like, this motherfucker's really pointing a gun at me. Granted, it was simunition rounds, but in the back of my mind, because again, conditioning, understanding, guns do bad things if they're pointing in your direction. Guns do bad things regardless if they're not pointing in the direction someone's holding, because you don't know the person's intention.
Right.
Nope. You don't
So
know. And I'm gonna tell you this way about if you ever got hit with a simunition round, I had 3 pairs of sweatpants and that shit stung. It's like a paintball round, but only like 3 times faster. You learn when that shit hits you in the hand. I'm gonna tell you, Soto. I want you to come up here and explain your point, please, because remember there are more private security personnel than police with the National Guard. What is the National Guard, Soto?
People just throw around terms they don't know what they mean.
Yeah, they don't know.
What is the National Guard? And here's the point, Inspired Truth Broadcast. Bail bondsmen do not enforce law. They're not law enforcement officers. They're agents of the court, meaning they'll bring someone back in order to stand trial. They don't enforce law. As a matter of fact, here's the biggest difference. When he said the stuff about slave catchers, I let people talk like I let them talk. Slave catchers and law enforcement are not the same. That's where bail.
No, I was talking about the origin of it. They did use police officers.
The origin.
Talk to the people, the person in the chat, not to you.
Origin.
Okay.
Here's the thing about the origin of that. There's a reason why you have bail's bondsmen. Why? In order to get a slave out of slavery, you had to do what? Pay their what?
Their bond.
First and foremost.
You did mention another part about race, because you were saying, well, whether or not if we throw race in there. If we compare that to Dylan Roof, when Dylan Roof went into a church and shot all those black people that was inside the church, now he had a gun with intent and he did use it to kill. Did the police talk him down and take him to Burger King? And gave him a Burger King hat?
Those are those police. Because if he would have came to my church, that's not your kid. No, no.
Here
Wait a
we
minute.
go.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Here we hold
to the
on,
door with a gun
BGS.
in his hand.
Hold on, BGS. Did he have gun in hand or was it on the ground?
Wait a minute. So he just put the gun on the ground when the police got there and they de-escalated the situation?
Yes, he didn't have a gun in his hand.
Yes.
Oh, I see. That makes all the difference.
If anything, no. First of all, did I not tell you that my cousin, who retired 30 years from law enforcement, and myself were armed at my grandfather's funeral? What the fuck you think would happen if Dylan Roof would have came up in that bitch?
Probably got shot up.
So, first of all, this is my rule when I'm going down south to my family farm. I'm armed to the teeth. Because so you're telling me you're using apples and oranges. You're talking about a guy who shoots up a church where they were in prayer. He actually prayed with the people and he blindsided them. Versus a guy showing up to the fucking door to a cop with a gun. You're not even in fruit anymore. You're talking about apples and fucking pine trees.
So
you said so. No. By the way, Soto, please come up here because here's the thing: the National Guard is not the police.
They're not.
They're not.
The National Guard is your
New York
state militia.
They're actually National Guard, actually military. Okay.
They're your state militia. They're your military.
Yeah.
Who's the matter of fact? Who's the commander in chief of your National Guard? And I'll leave that question for you.
When can National Guard actually come into actually enforce law? Under what state of what?
The governor.
State of emergency, right?
State of emergency through the governor or the president.
And they call that what, sir? Martial law.
So when I'm just wondering, when y'all have this opportunity, the National Guard is state. Air National Guard is basically the Air Force of the state. The National Guard is the Army of the state.
Mm-hmm.
Your commander in chief through everyday purposes, unless get federalized, is the governor of your state.
Yeah. Look at January 6th.
Yeah.
In Maryland, they asked for the Maryland National Guard. The governor has to give the okay.
Yep.
Matter of fact, to go into D.C., it took the vice president to say, come in and get these motherfuckers.
Yep.
I mean, perfect example, New York City. When people saw the National Guards, they're like, no, they stood by. They have no police authority.
Yep.
And guess what? Even during the National Guard, it's not like I was in a riot in Baltimore. Oops, I was.
And you
guess what they did? They assist. They didn't do any law enforcement activity.
And black people have to start learning civics. Okay.
Yes.
You know what? I think I need to do it. I think I need to teach civics.
Yeah, I think you need to do. Yeah, I think you need to do some either prerequisites, trainings, and this stuff because a lot. This is just ignorance. It's not even.
It's just ignorance because I need to teach y'all civics. You know, some of the Padawans and foundlings that I teach constantly, when it comes to law, I trust them at 20 years old with a firearm to some of you dudes who are over 35, because it just with here's the problem. Here, I don't have StreamYard set up at this time. No. You don't need StreamYards to be set up. I got it set up for you. Bring your ass.
You don't. If you have a phone and you have on YouTube, you can make a recording. Okay, you don't need StreamYards.
Come on. No. I'm telling him to come up here because
you don't need StreamYards. If you're already on StreamYards, sir, because
all you need is a YouTube. He got a YouTube ID, so of course his YouTube ID.
All he has to do
is let him come right up.
All he has to do is hit the link. Okay.
Yeah. But
all you gotta do is hit the.
You know that it's emotional whataboutisms.
It is.
That's all it is. And you got, like I said, you got these pro-blackies here on social media who rile people up, doing whole hit pieces and whatnot, and they don't even examine the facts of the case. They don't talk about the facts. They just talk about the end result.
They
And
don't
that's
know.
pathetic.
They don't understand the SOPs.
Well, okay. But off of that, can we all do we all agree that racism exists, or are you telling me that racism don't exist?
It was not a racist incident.
Right,
Oh
racism
man.
had nothing.
No.
Wait a
No.
minute,
Answer the
pause.
question. Answer the
Wait a
question.
minute, pause. Wait a minute,
Racism
pause
exists, but
for
it
a
had
minute.
nothing to do with this. I'm sorry.
Pause for a minute. I gotta salute, a supporter. My man. I'm not gonna say the name. AH supported with the $50 holler. We need Slick Rick and Bria Miles to thank him for that $50 holler. Go ahead.
That makes me laugh every time I
You know
see
what?
it.
The simple fact
Every time I see Bria
Mississippi
Myers'
Delta
ass,
with
I
the
get triggered. That's my watching my baby mama when she was young.
Mississippi Delta. Thank you for the $50 holler. Thank you, bro.
Hey, Charles, can I say something real quick? I got to ask
Go
this
ahead.
question again. So I asked this question before. No one really answered it. But let me ask this question. How many of y'all, like, in your area, like your county, your city, and your state, not the federal side, but your county, your city, and your state, reviews the policies, the regulations, and the laws yearly?
I do.
I do.
Oh, except me, right? Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't.
Except you pros, okay?
Yeah.
Because when Charles is going to go into civics, it's going to expose a lot of people who don't review that stuff, because you don't even know what your local laws are.
No.
So how can you make a judgment on anything if you don't review that stuff?
Yeah, and basically, how can you make a review on a department, because it's a department by department basis how they train their cops.
And I will say this with that particular department.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah,
department,
but
hold on,
Hebrew.
Don't get excited.
Hold on. I will say with that particular department, will they be under a lot of scrutiny? Yes, because they had the situation
with the acorn.
With the acorn. That is going to open. This is the thing where Charles can attest, BGS can attest. The fact that the Pentagon is involved, they're going to go even way. This shit that's going behind the scenes, just like the shit that happened in Texas with the Uvalde shooting. We're there's going to be a how can I say it, an iron hand coming down, regardless of what happens at this point. But at the end of the day, it is important that citizens really understand the laws, the metrics, and the things that change, because law enforcement goes through these drastic changes. Just like the whole thing in situation in Minnesota, right? That protocol's been in there for years. But that cop knew what the fuck he was doing, so he deserved what he gets.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of stuff that's on the books that actually protects him. That there are cops out there, they know it's on the books. They abuse the power. Then they get jammed up, and now all of a sudden, you got a lot of these white boys, protect back the blue. No. Because there are a lot of boys on the side, like, you know better than that.
Yeah. The misnomer is that cop had to say drop your weapon. No, he does not.
No, there's not.
I agree with you, BGS. I agree with you. He didn't have to.
In other words, you going by the description of that cop, right? And what his state of mind is, and you don't know it. Okay, and you're black on top of that. Let's put race in it for a second, right? Okay, you dumb motherfucker. You're a black man in a white country going to the door with a cop and a gun in hand. How dumb is your ass? Okay,
very dumb.
Very dumb. And you get what it says, stupid tricks.
You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Stupid prizes, okay?
Right. Okay, so but I'm saying, do racism not exist? That's what I'm saying.
It does. Thing is, okay, say that it does. We'll give you that, okay?
Okay, so during Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Hold on. No, don't go away from this. Okay. Regardless of that, okay? Regardless of that, right? You're a black man, okay? and you've been raised in this country, right?
Agree.
And you know that race is a factor in this country, right?
Agree.
Why would your black ass go to the goddamn door with a gun in your hand?
I wouldn't.
You won't get exactly what you got, right? Why is this surprising? And you're asking for it. Basically, you're asking to get shot.
So if anything, let's go. I gotta put my the lady of the hour up real quick. Okay, because I hate it. Number one, I'm gonna answer this. Stop your bullshit. If you're not coming up here, stay silent. Why would anybody take a job? It's not about being afraid. It's about that one moment when you need to act. Your life is valued around more. Hold that question. Now I'm gonna answer this one thing, right? If racism exists, and that means by that nomenclature, right? That means I should be especially careful to approach cops with firearms in my hand, right?
Yeah.
So
I would say so.
What's the old saying? Fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
It's sad that that young brother, trust me, it hurts me to my soul that young brother is no longer with us. But what you're not going to do is tell me that if a person in his field of work in the Air Force did not know that that's a no-no. Guess what? Do people know that I'm a police officer? I'm 5'10", 280 pounds. No. How many cops can subdue me by themselves? Yes. How many cops one-on-one can subdue me by themselves? Not
2.
including the level of wrestling.
I don't think so.
With the level of wrestling, I'm an international level wrestler. I can box. I've done MMA. Do you really think two average cops from West Maybury can subdue me?
I've never been to Russ Mayberry.
How much?
No.
How much you bench press, Charles? Offhand?
Heavy is 500.
Jeez.
I'd lift 275 over my head. Do you really, the strongest I've been, do you really think the average cop can handle that?
The average.
I mean, I wouldn't pull out a stun gun.
Whoa. Say that again.
I wouldn't pull out a stun gun. I wouldn't pull out a stun gun on you.
What would you pull out?
I mean, even if I was to pull out a firearm, I'm going to shoot probably more than one.
What would you pull out?
Nigga, what you pulling?
I don't know. In some situations.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Now we get into the weeds. Okay, the real stuff now.
What you pulling? Out of all those options, what you pulling? You got a nigga like Charles. Let's move Charles as an officer. Let's say Charles is high on meth, and you a cop, and you saw him thrash one of your partners right across the hallway. What are you choosing?
Oh yeah. By the way, this is me.
We can't. We don't have your icon.
Oh shit!
It's not there.
Oh, God damn it!
Find a picture of yourself and pull it up.
Seriously, Hebrew. What are you choosing?
Well, I guess the question is, at that point,
Okay.
hold on, I'm answering the question. At that point, when is the right time to pull your firearm? That's the question.
We just gave you a scenario.
Give me a scenario.
No, we just gave him a scenario.
We just gave him a scenario.
Right. That's what I was saying. When the other person has a gun.
No. He gave you a scenario. No, hold on.
Hold
on, Charles. He gave you a scenario. What would you do in that scenario?
Charles is not an officer.
I mean, I'm gonna have to. I wouldn't use deadly force. I would not use deadly force.
Hold on.
So what you
hold on? What are you using? I just gave you an example. Charles is not an officer. He's an attacker. He is high off meth.
It is two of you. You saw him thrash your partner across the hallway. He's coming for you next. You got a taser, you have a baton, you have pepper spray, and then you have your Glock 17, whatever you want to use. What are you choosing?
I would probably pull out my weapon, a Glock.
Oh, really?
Okay. And why?
But I would, but
No, why?
I would not aim center mass. Hold on, because the level of aggression that he used towards my partner, because you said he's high on meth and he thrashed my partner, so my partner's out of the equation.
So where we should?
But would I
guy-
aim center mass?
Let me ask you this question. How tall are you? How much do you weigh?
5'11", I weigh 225.
Have you ever lifted 500 pounds?
No, I can't get 500 pounds up. I could get about maybe 250.
So, right there, can you match a person who's 2 to 3 times your strength in any realistic fucking way?
And you add a
meth.
Meth.
Yeah, meth.
And you telling me you wouldn't shoot center mass?
And why wouldn't you shoot center mass? Because if you can shoot a limb, guess what that's saying? My life was not in jeopardy because I took a precision shot. Why did you shoot center mass? Why are you trained to shoot center mass?
I mean, because if you hit anything in the chest, the chances are that person is gone. You're gonna hit a main artery.
No. Why do you shoot center mass?
To kill. Center mass is to kill.
No.
Do you know, or you just don't know, or you're guessing?
Just say you don't know, brother.
Well, I'm going. Okay, I'll say I don't know.
Okay. The reason why you taught to shoot center mass is because one, what's the largest part of your body? The torso.
Right. That's where your heart is. That's what I said. To kill.
No. Stop talking through me. This is learning. You gotta listen. So, fight or flight. Does your senses get greater, or they lessen? You're gonna get tunnel vision.
I was thinking about 300.
So, even if you shoot perfect scores on the range, when you're in danger, you might go down to 25%.
You probably will.
Okay.
And here's the thing: you have a less likelihood of missing your target.
Niggas need to stop playing Call of Duty. That's all. Niggas need to stop.
That's what happened. So when you keep bringing up this to kill stuff, you'll never hear anybody say eliminate or kill. It's to neutralize. Because guess what? There are many times people have been shot center mass and they still coming for your ass.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. No, I agree with that.
And that's
somebody
what
like Charles in the leg, to wound.
You think they're gonna do something?
And you'll be dead. He'll be dead. You'll be dead. He'll bleed out, but think you'll die first.
There's a video. There's a video you can watch just as an example if you have the time, Hebrew, of a Russian guy. I think he's a Russian MMA fighter where they pulled up at his house or something like that, and they had to try to neutralize him because he was having a psychotic break or something, and they had to drop 2 full magazines of ammo into him just to put him down because he was coming the whole time.
And guess
Yeah,
what?
I know it can happen. And then you also said he was high on meth. I agree.
And let me tell you a secret. You don't even need drugs because the human mind is that powerful. If it doesn't want to die, if you train your mind to die, it could be 70 degrees, 60 degrees inside of a freight. A guy believed that he was going to die. Guess what he did? He froze to death, even though the whole time it was only 60 degrees in that little freight. He would have survived overnight. Now, if you have the will to live, there's many motherfuckers who said, I ain't dying.
Yep.
And that motherfucker survived fucking 9, 10 shots and lived.
And
they still walking around.
There's a guy who survived in the military. You might know about him. This was years ago. I think it was during it was either World War II or Vietnam. There's a story of a guy. I don't remember the guy's name.
Probably Audie Murphy.
Maybe.
Probably Audie Murphy, the most decorated motherfucker.
Yeah, you probably
Oh,
know the story then. So like he got shot like what was it over like 80 times or something like that.
no,
Came back in a box, but then they yeah
Audie Murphy was lit the fuck up, dude. He
yeah
survived.
he comes back and then like the they think he's dead, so they put him in a box or whatever. They open the box
He's still
and
alive.
he's still alive and he spits in the commander's face and he's like, "Get me out this motherfucking box!" Like I'm dying.
Oh, some
Because
Al
he couldn't even
Pacino type
talk.
stuff, right? Some Scarface.
Well, like I basically hopped up because earlier, off of what the brother was saying, and also what James was just saying. It's like, playing too much Call of Duty. But for the fact that he said that he plays Call of Duty, for the fact that like just that alone, and you don't know what pre-firing is, which I'm pretty sure he does, which is where you're shooting around corners before you know anybody's even there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna throw this out here too, real quick, because this is all I really came up here to say initially, was that I'm not gonna tell you what to do with your life. I'm gonna tell you though, in terms of black men and handling firearms, what he did wasn't the smartest play. I wouldn't have did no shit like that unless you already got the gun pointed. Don't do no shit like that. You're fucking crazy. And then if the cops announce themselves as cops, what the fuck are you doing? You got a peephole, and if you don't, you don't have to open your door all the way, bruh. You don't have to open your door all the way. You can talk. You can talk around. You can stick your little head out the fucking door to see what's going on. And if you really gotta have that gun in your hand because you think that they're lying, put that shit behind the door. Doors. At least most doors, you can shoot right through them motherfuckers. All right. So you don't necessarily have to brandish your weapon. Just don't never put yourself in that position where the gun is on full display for the cops, and you don't have to notify them.
And that goes for
I'm
anybody.
not telling you what to do, but I'm just giving you a piece of advice. That's what I would do, and maybe might had to do that a couple times. I'm just saying, don't do no shit like that though. Don't pull your gun all the way out on a cop because you're gonna get shot just about every time.
White boys get lit the fuck up. I heard BGS and Charles said it. You can go on TikTok. There's enough footage on YouTube. You got white boys begging for their lives not to get shot the fuck up.
I mean, like I said, it's two schools of thought here. I'm not saying who's right or who's wrong. We see what happened. He answered the gun. He got shot. It's very sad that the brother lost his life. What I am saying to everybody's in the chat, and please everybody respond, is there another way that the cop could have handled it? And I want to hear everybody say no.
No. Yeah. Yes. Could there? That's not what happened. And I'm gonna say
right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Was there another way a cop could have handled it?
Hebrew. There's no.
Why
Let
is
me.
that relevant?
Hebrew. Just like if someone's gonna whoop your ass, you ain't gonna sit there and say, "Hey, can you not raise your left hand? Don't throw the fucking hook." You ain't gonna do that. You're gonna react. We are conditioned in a particular way. If we see something consistently, we know what it does. You're going to react.
Right. It's not even a relevant question to ask.
It's not even relevant.
The thing is that when a cop is in that situation, they're trained to do what they're trained to do. Number one. Number two, the shit already happened. It doesn't even matter at that point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, it doesn't even matter is what I'm saying. It's
it doesn't
a relevant
matter what you're
question.
saying. You saying coulda, woulda. My nigga, you gonna say coulda, woulda, someone's whooping your ass? You gonna tell them to pause? No. And like I said, you live in Phoenix. You know how wild it gets out there.
Oh yeah. Well, it's on the news.
Right?
Hey, Hebrew.
None of them cops is talking about, hey, can we talk?
Hey, Hebrew. Russell Wilson could have handled the ball to Marshawn Lynch too, right? Right?
You got him in your back pockets, BGS.
Right. Am I right? He could have, right? He could have done it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything could have happened. But the worst happened. Yeah.
He could have. Okay.
I'm gonna tell you
what. I'm gonna hop off, guys. It was nice talking to you.
All right.
Don't be a stranger. Don't forget to subscribe.
I got you.
I'm gonna start putting up Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch every time people say could have.
I mean, you got the easiest seat. Here's the part about it is that I'm gonna have to teach civics or something like that, and I'm gonna teach people. I don't know too many brothers that had a good outcome when they have a gun opening up for the police to come. I don't know. It's because a lot of you brothers are living in fantasy worlds, and I gotta tell you, that shit ain't cute.
That shit is not fucking cute.
That shit is not cute. And when you do that shit, you make it really bad for the rest of us logical motherfuckers, man. Because we're trying to help people and say, look, I know it hurts me to my soul to see a young black man die like that. But you're not gonna tell me some bullshit like, yo, you really gonna come out there and pull that motherfucking gun out there for that cop, and you know what's gonna fucking happen. Just like all these guys here who say, well, no, where's that little comment at? Because where's little Mo at? Where's Mo? Where's Mo? See, people talking about fear. Well, yeah, he was dumb going to the door with a gun as a black man. He's dumb going to the door to the cop as a man, period. So let's take race out the equation, right? If
Oh,
a white guy came to the door with a gun and you the cop, what the fuck you gonna do?
I'm pulling
Sorry.
triggers.
Yeah,
Who's
sorry.
motherfucker?
I
And
got
you talking
interrupted.
about fear, yeah. So you gonna tell a motherfucker they can't fear for their safety being a cop? There's no fucking time a cop is actually afraid for their safety during their career. There's none. See, this is where you bullshitters get the audacity to say, so there's no time a soldier's never in fear for their safety. A firefighter, a crossing guard, a lunch lady, a fucking
Charles,
electrician. There's no time they never fear for their safety. You motherfuckers are disingenuous, and it shows.
Charles, can I
Where
say
you at,
something?
Soto? I'm waiting for you, Soto. Come on now. We got some room for you.
Charles,
Like,
can I say something before I jump off?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this to you, brothers, man, and for you guys who don't understand this quite clearly. There's a reason why law enforcement, military have specific type of training versus civilians. There are things that we are allowed to do under the SOPs, under policy, right? And even with that, there's still discretion. A lot of you motherfuckers think you see Call of Duty and you think they're giving you all the secrets. That is not reality. I had a discussion with a friend of mine who does contracting overseas, and we talk about, fatal funnel shooting, CQB and all that other stuff, right? And one of the things that he said, the running joke was that at least in the military, they know when they're going into a house, everybody knows, they agree. You might get shot. Everybody's like, okay, that's the reality. That's the same scenario that goes on when cops come to a door. They know. It's not like you can hit the reset button. So when you see these scenarios, understand, like Charles says, and I've said this, someone got to go home. Now, does it got to get to that point? No. But if you create that environment, there's trade-offs. You or me.
Well, James, since you're still here, well, if I could say this to you real quick, like I was trying to say this. This is why I brought up since you brought up the Call of Duty thing again, like for the fact that like that brother was talking about like he played Call of Duty, so he should know the reference, like what pre-firing is, which is like you're preemptively like shooting.
Yeah, but brother, let me tell you something. That does not hold on, Andre.
That's not reality.
That's not
You are
reality.
responsible for every round that comes out of that damn muzzle.
Round that you let down. This is what, again, you brought that up, and I didn't want to interrupt you, and I just wanted to, and I'm saying this now.
And I'm glad you did, because it's a learning time.
Yeah, it's a learning time. Just Andre, make this quite clear to you. We do not do that shit in real life. There are too many liabilities.
Yes,
It goes on.
I'm aware of that. And I'm not
No, I'm
saying
just
it's
saying, but you got Andre. You have to understand when you and when you intersect yourself in these conversations and you say something of like that manner, there are a lot of people who do not understand. And I'm glad Charles had brought this up there.
That's what I
Right?
was trying to
But
clarify.
hold on, Andre. Let him finish. Let him finish.
Right? And this is the thing where when you have these real discussions about tactics, firearms, and what really goes on, right? In these scenarios, there's a lot of things. That's why I said earlier, there's a reason why law enforcement military have a specific type of training versus when you take your fundamentals, get your pistol, that stuff can't cross over to the public because we have certain things that protect us if things go left. In the civilian world, there's nothing that's going to protect you.
Like the point that I was trying to make is like it's not a direct correlation. It's just the fact that when you guys were trying to speak to him directly, he was like unwilling to like have the conversation. That's why you guys were
He's,
speaking in
of
metaphor.
course, because he's deflecting. We used to this shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
That's
deflecting
why.
because he knew that he was in the trick bag. He knew
Exactly.
that.
That's why.
And to answer your question, Don 007, he says, serious question. Could this have been prevented if the cops carrying a shotgun with his first round being a beanbag back with a beanbag backer?
Oh my
I mean, let me put it to you this way. Why would you carry
a fucking shotgun?
A fucking less than lethal to a lethal situation?
Hey Charles, let me say something on this real quick. I'm gonna follow up with James. The thing is this: the reason why I tell people to read and study instead of going into fictional, whatever you want to call it, video games, movies, and all that, is that each weapon system has a purpose. So to answer his question about a shotgun, right? If a person is going to bring a shotgun, typically the shotgun is used in order to bring the door down, right? There's very, yeah, it's a breaching tool. So the thing is like you can, and just like BGS said, you can see the ignorance based on the question because they're not even trying to ask a intelligent question to get more understanding. Like a shotgun to go and like, go ahead, James. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you got, first of all, anytime you hear most law enforcement guys use a shotgun, the SWAT team is right there.
Or you're probably, and if you have a shotgun, we already know you're armed.
Yes.
Because a shotgun, if you have double-aught buck, that's the equivalent of 8 people shooting you with a 9mm at once. I'm blasting. Do you think the survivability at that distance with double-aught buck with a shotgun would have tore his ass apart? So there would, and I would just tell you, with a beanbag shotgun, I'm never going to take less lethal in a lethal situation. Never going to do it. Because that.
Did somebody say shotguns? You know I love me some shotguns, Charles. Me and the Second Amendment, my Mossberg, we go hand in hand, good buddy.
Shotguns are a beautiful tool because if I'm going through a room, if I gotta breach a house, a small house, the shotgun is king. Okay, because the first round coming out double-aught buck, the second round's coming out rifle slug, a quarter ounce of lead. An ounce of lead is coming at your ass.
Some of y'all
But
brothers,
go ahead, finish your statement.
some of y'all brothers, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. Go learn about ballistics. Don't play no Call of Duty. Go see what rounds do to people. There's plenty of information, video footage, so y'all can understand how lethal some of these weapons. First of all, not only the weapon, but the individual operator that is going into that room. I'm gonna say this: there's most likely he has ability of training, and I'm saying all cops are equal. But if you put Charles or myself or other people who understand this thing, trust me, there's going to be a lethality that you're never going to remember because we ain't gonna get to that point.
No, it's. Imagine if we had to clear a fucking house.
Don't take them with you. Take somebody with some skills.
Imagine if we had to clear a house.
Charles, you want to do this at nighttime when the nod's on?
Oh shit!
Huh?
Oh shit! Take me back to Iraq.
Yeah, because I'm not doing that shit during the day. I'm gonna tell y'all, brother, straight up. If I'm coming
Because
through, them lights is going out.
I'm gonna put it to you this way: I'll do it with the lights, but guess what? First gun I see, the first person I'm blasting. If that answers your question, oh, that's so cruel to say. No, it isn't. If you know that I'm law enforcement, and you know that I'm coming to serve a purpose, and you trying to hurt me or my partner, I'm putting you 10 feet in the dirt.
Yeah, I had.
I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't give a fuck if you think I'm Uncle Tom and that's my boy. We coming out of, I don't fucking give American flags.
Oh, Charles, I had one cadre on the CQB class say to me. He said, at nighttime I do fucked up shit. I said, okay, now I know why. Because they ain't no rules at nighttime, brother. I'm telling you straight up. And a lot of them dudes who be doing wild shit in the street, just like you had that shit in North Carolina, there's no mercy after that. After negotiation talks, all that other shit, no. You start popping motherfuckers upside their head? Oh, no.
Actually, you
You ain't
talking
Chris,
mad shit too?
yeah. You ain't doing it. You ain't that homeboy in Cali. No. If you want to go out like that, oh yeah.
Real quick before I forget,
You
because I got
talking
2 TBS, so my memory's kind of shot a little bit. But the first question, I just remembered it, is that one, does Florida have a castle doctrine law? If anyone knows that,
Florida has a stand your, Florida has a stand your ground.
but not castle doctrine.
But that wouldn't apply to that. This scenario would
I
not
don't
apply.
think they have a castle doctrine. I don't think they have a castle doctrine per se. I know Maryland has a castle-like doctrine. You do with that what you will.
I know.
It's so because you got to remember the reason for those who are not familiar with castle doctrine. If you're attacked in your home is supposed to be your last place of refuge. So you have nowhere else to go. And what's that? Simple question to the cop: do police have quotas to make? No. Certain amounts of arrests? No. Can this lead to no? First of all, an asshole is an asshole is an asshole. That individual is an asshole because they want to be an asshole. There's 2 months I didn't write a ticket. I didn't make an arrest. Nobody bothered me. I'm like this. Do you want a bunch of bullshit arrests or do you want me to keep your crime down? You ain't getting both.
I mean, Charles, you see it already. You see all the craziness running around now.
Yeah.
And folks was talking about police brutality. Look, there's certain states right now because of the policies by liberal governors and government
mayors.
cops are handicapped.
No, this is the weakest. This is the weakest. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go out on a real big limb. This is the weakest that cops had as a united power ever. Because everybody, I've said this before, you can go order it online. You don't even have to order it. You can print it out online or look at it on YouTube. How many years, BGS, did I tell motherfuckers to go look at the 21st century in policing? It's been on since the Obama administration, dude. This is what the fuck y'all wanted. Y'all wanted hands off policing. You got it, baby.
And
Don't get mad.
Go outside.
What happened, babe? Did we not talk about before? You get the police you ask for.
Yeah, because everybody is so happy that they actually they go. The de-escalation goes from verbal, right? From verbal commands to pepper spray, taser, baton,
Empty hands. There goes from mere presence, verbal. The empty hands, pepper spray, taser, impact weapons like your baton or your bean bags. Then it goes up to deadly force. But go ahead, continue. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, actually, I was just backing your play, but go ahead.
I mean, brothers, look what's going on in Pittsburgh. After 11 o'clock at night, you on your own. Nigga, you on your own.
From 11, what is it? From 10 to 7? 11 to 7?
Yeah, like 10 to 7. The midnight, the graveyard shit.
So what
And
happened?
nothing
Oh,
being
you
called.
dead. Never mind.
Yeah. Y'all wanted to purge, right? You got one right in Pittsburgh at nighttime. You better be home before the lights go out.
I mean, unless you giving cops like the suits from Kaiju number 8, or you giving them Power Ranger problems, the Super Soldier Serum. I mean, y'all asking cops. See, this is the one thing about cops and the military. If a motherfucker thinks you in the military, they think everybody in the Quartermaster Corps must be a part of Special Forces. They think every goddamn cop is a low key SWAT operative, or who's gonna leave or some shit. Like you never ever average cops out to the average guy.
Yes. I'm glad you brought that up, Charles. Charles,
And it's funny. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Charles, you know this and I know this. How many actual officers actually shoot out of their own time to at least have a decent proficiency?
Very
You mean outside of qualification?
Yes,
exactly.
That's even in the military. I didn't
even
realize how bad it was until I talked to my homies who's in. He was like, "You think all special operators shoot?" He said, "I had motherfuckers. They do the bare minimum and then that's it." I said, "What?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true story. I agree with that.
Think about it. Before I gotta take guys who work for me, and we gotta go to the range to see their proficiency. I'm like, yo, I go to the range for my job as a sergeant, and he's like, your shots are going to the left. But motherfucker, I still scored a 90. Guess what? I'm shooting his aorta twice, 3 times, 4 times. There you go. I'm like, here's my shit. What most cops will do is the equivalent of what people will do during a fucking exam in college. They cram. And you're lucky they'll do that.
Cram on qualifying?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they'll try to hurry up and get some shooting in before the range. Which you don't really want to do. You want to have a natural progression, because now you fatigued your hand and you got to go through daytime, nighttime, and situational shooting, which is something that a lot of people forget that they're doing. They're introducing situational shooting, knife, gun at a certain range, in a certain area. But these cops out here are bloodthirsty. Remember that they want their
for all you civilians. Again, let me make this clear. I would say 80% of cops, just because they wear a badge, they have all the 6 months of the academy. I will tell you from personal experience, from what I witnessed, after the academy, they just think the badge is going to save them. They are not going to save you.
I'm gonna tell you, here's the scary part, right? And shout out to Eric Hall joining the chat. There's a lot of human error that goes in any job. Take out policing, take out military, take out any paramilitary job. There's a lot of human error. Dude, I don't know what you could put up your hand to be like, yo, ho. Do you know how many motherfuckers say, I want to kill a cop today? Nobody ever puts that in their mind.
Suicide by cop.
Suicide by cop is a big thing. Niggas don't want to talk about that shit. Niggas never want to talk about shit.
Oh yeah, that's facts.
Hey Charles, this is another thing. I just remember something. Now,
Go ahead.
when people argue a point, right? What is the difference between anxiety and fear?
Fear petrifies you. Anxiety can just shut you down.
The
Just
reason why I bring
because
that point up because people keep saying, "Well, if you're in fear of the job, then why join?" I'm like, "Why do the job?" It's not fear at that point. It's like managing your anxiety through conflict management. So I don't think they have a full understanding. Like when people ask when they actually do these jobs, like what they're trained to deal with when it comes to what you're saying, which is the human error portion.
Firefighters be in fear when they're putting out the fire. If they quit, then your shit's burned down. It's not like they're constantly walking around in fear. It's just it's an awareness fear in the situation. Why am I explaining this?
you know, because this shows you, right, and I'm glad you put that up, Eric, because I saw that scenario when he went through that training, and he had the scenario with the simunitions, and they had the two guys robbing the store. Just because you have a gun, is it worth the collateral damage? Remember that. Is it worth it?
Every scenario has to have a degree of assessment. Every scenario. And then at the end of the day, like, not everything's gonna come out the way it's planned, man. Like, people have to understand that. There's gonna be some fuck ups. How bad is the fuck up?
Yeah. And there's catastrophic loss, and then there's collateral damage. Most police agencies do not believe in collateral damage, if any. The military believes in collateral damage.
Yes.
That's the difference. People always say, well, the military, if there was a military guy, I said a lot of military motherfuckers can't shoot.
No, they can't.
A lot of
100%.
once again, I keep telling you that there's a lot of motherfuckers who's confusing the military and thinking that every motherfucker is the second fucking coming of fucking Delta Force.
That's the truth. That is no lie.
They don't want to admit that, hey, I got a weakness. Nobody ever wants to look weak. And that's the unfortunate part about it. And I'm going to have to start having more. Thank you, BGS, for this one because I needed the viewership and hopefully a few subscribers. Thank you for the donations. No shit. But I'm going to start doing more and more research about this. Everybody got my number. They got my email. Hit me up, and I'm going to do more in-depth research to this shit because my final verdict on this is it justified? Yes. Sorry. Does it look ugly? Yes. But is it justified? Yeah. You can't if I put myself in a situation, I might have done the same thing. I might have hesitated, I might not. Who knows? But I'm not too far off what that reaction was. You probably I'm pretty sure he probably pissed on himself a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you don't expect knocking on the door, seeing a gun, and you're like, oh shit. And the worst part about being law enforcement nowadays, you got the entire world scrutinizing you, but they don't know how you felt I bet you if I put you in a scenario and told you knock at a door and there was no escape, what would you do? There were preachers who protested the police and they were put through scenarios of two guys arguing. One guy approached him. You know what the guy did? The preacher shot him several times. And they were asking, why'd you shoot me? Well, he was coming to me. That doesn't mean that he was going to hurt you. Was he armed? No. You asking police to have the judgment of 2 years Of how many Supreme Court justices do we have? You're asking up to the Supreme Court level to have that level of discretion in split second. About to get ready for work, folks. Any last thoughts? We'll start with AL. AL, you there?
It's been a pleasure. I listened. It was interesting. I understood the concepts. I understood why people are crying. But it is what it is. Be safe on your job back there, Charles. You know we love you. We out. Peace. Woo!
Woo, love you, man. We're gonna go to James. James is next.
Hey, family. Thank you, Charles. I'm glad you had this conversation. I hope a lot of brothers please understand, man. Like, there is a level of discretion that you must use, especially not only with your own personal life, but anytime you involve firearms, law enforcement, or any outside outliers, especially with the history that goes on for black brothers in this country. Please use a level of discretion and no more of this Call of Duty nonsense. If you don't know, go research it. Hit up Charles. I'm not on here a lot, but you know what I'm saying? When I get on, I'll definitely participate. But stop the level of ignorance, man, because you're going to put yourself in more harm's way than good.
Thank you, James. We're gonna go to Angry Black Man. Angry Black Man, ABM, are you there? Okay, we're gonna go to New R Truth. New R.
All right, I'll say this. Remember, people, it's imperative that you study your local laws, policies, rules, and regulation, right? So that you can have a firm understanding on what your true rights are instead of trying to argue a point from an ignorant standpoint. All right. Just like what James says, like it's imperative for you to also look into what these weapon systems can do and stop going off of Call of Duty or fictional stuff and then having that as your point of argument. Other than that, I appreciate the stream, Charles, BGS, and everybody else. And I got to get back to work. I'll see y'all later.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for coming. Embrace Villainy. Tell them where they can find you out of your last words, your thoughts on this.
They can find me right here as Embrace Villainy, the way it's written. And I would advise you guys to actually go through my library because everything that was talked about here, I have it on display for the past year. I've been showing arrest videos where the cops treat people with kid gloves because the majority of the arrests that happen out here is them arresting spoiled children in adult bodies and treating them with kid gloves. Kid gloves. But the thing about it is that what I've noticed is that people here on YouTube, you only watch it for the sensationalism and you get caught up in a rabbit hole, in a bubble. You don't explore outside of your normal viewing patterns. So when something like this happens, you get very emotional and defensive and want to cry racism when it has absolutely nothing to do with that. Step outside your comfort zone. Go watch cop watch videos and audit the police and whatnot. You'll actually see a different side of the component. Peace.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing in BGS. Last but not least, thank you for the share of the stream, and thank you for the subscribers. Thank you for the support. BGS still there? If not, shut this down. Get ready to take that shower to get ready to do this police power thing. Ooh, thank you, everybody. We out.